Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, the final day of the Cranky Gather Season 2 Playoffs, day number 4. We're here with the Grand Finals. The Grand Finals here of our Invitational Team League Tournament. I'm, of course, your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the Puma Chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to the finale here of something that's been running for the entire week. If you've been MIA, if you have not been watching StarCraft over the past week, you've been missing out, Pap. You've been missing out. We have been hosting and we've been casting what? The Cranky Gather Season 2. This is a big 6-team invitational. Which teams were invited? We had a Team Liquid, Team Vitality, Team Falcons. We had Basilisk, Shopify, and Streamer Zone. 6 teams were invited into this big event. We did have the initial preliminary stage, the group stage, and we've been working through the playoffs as well until we have the final 2 teams of the tournament. We have Basilisk and Team Liquid. These are the top 2 teams of the league, and they're about to face off in a best of 13 team league match. Pro League format. For those who are curious, what is Pro League format? Well, back in the day, there used to be 2 tournaments. There was Pro League and there was GSTL. Both had different formats. GSTL would sometimes incorporate Pro League format for the finals, for the playoffs, I should say. But GSTL would be all kill, right? That'd be all kill format. That's when a player beats another player, they stay on, and they persist until they get knocked out. So then you can have like an ace player kind of carry a team and go on these big win streaks as well. Pro League format is that you field your lineups and they only play against each other, and only against each other in that best of 1 instead. So let's have a look at the lineups. Let's have a look at the lineups here, and we have something to go over as well. So from the top, Basilisk versus Team Liquid, best of 13. We have our initial 4 players revealed to each other 24 hours ahead of time. So the players, they did have some time to prepare. They did have some time to get ready here for their matches. Of course, the maps are pre-decided and players are fielded onto specific maps, but there is a very special rule for the grand finals. Now, what the special rule is the player coming in, the team coming in from the upper bracket, which is Basilisk, right? Basilisk, they have yet to lose a single series, so they came in from the upper bracket. Team Liquid did get knocked out earlier in the tournament, did get knocked down, I should say, to the lower bracket. They had to work their way back up. So coming into the grand finals, the team that didn't lose any series, they have an advantage. Now, this is done in different ways in different tournaments. In some tournaments, they're up by 1 point, right? They start with a 1-0 advantage in a best of series, whether it's the best of 5, best of 7, best of 9 finals. In other tournaments, it means that they have an extra life, which means that if Team Liquid beat them, then they have to beat them a second time to win. Otherwise, Basilisk could win in that second game and could just win the entire series in that second series. For this tournament, it's a little bit different. For this tournament, there is an advantage for Basilisk. The advantage, I would say, is pretty huge, actually. They have the advantage of knowing what the lineup is ahead of time. Now, previously, for all the other matches, for all the other Team League face-offs that we've had, the players, the teams, they submit their lineups to the admin, and then the lineups are revealed ahead. They're revealed at the same time. They're revealed at the same time, ahead of time, of course, to give teams and to give players some time to prepare for their matches. For this finals, though, it is a little bit different. For this finals, Basilisk know what players are being fielded instead, at least for the first 3 matches, not for the entire series, but the first 3. I will say basically for all 4 matches, because of how limited the roster is for Team Liquid. If you remember, Skilless has been unavailable, so Skilless has not been playing. Instead, Mana has. So this is the roster, like Cure, Clem, and Mana. That's it. That's the so even if they only see like 3 matches, you know who the next player is going to be in the next match anyway. So Basilisk have a big advantage there, knowing who's going to be playing on what map, and then they can specifically target certain players and specifically have certain matchups at their disposal. And that leads into, again, a really big advantage, and we'll get into the lineups here. We can break it down. So Serral's going to be going up against Cure. Cure was fielded on the Old Republic, and they did pick Serral to go up against him, which I think is a really smart decision. I think it's a really good choice. Serral has the best ZVT in the world, and he's going to be going up against Cure here. I mean, it's going to be a solid matchup there, especially on the Old Republic. Game 2, Team Liquid, they fielded Clem on Mothership. Now, if you notice something, typically the roster for Basilisk is Serral, Reynor, and Trigger. Those are the 3 players for Basilisk. They're the 3 best players for Basilisk. But one, this is a replay cast. This tournament was casted over the weekend. Sorry, I think coming on Saturday. And if you remember, what was over the weekend? Well, that was SE for All, which we casted, of course, which we did cast. SE for All is, of course, a big LAN event that was happening in the Americas. Who went there? Trigger. He was traveling at the time of this series, so he was mid-flight as he was heading over to America to compete in SE for All, so he was unavailable to compete in the grand finals. That is a big blow, to be honest. Like, Trigger, he is a core part of Basilisk. Without Trigger, this is a big weak point for Basilisk, but because Basilisk know that Clem is being fielded on Mothership, they can send out their boy Roddy to just tank Clem. And I feel like this should be the strategy moving forward, is that Rotterdam is basically like just a meat shield, and whenever Clem gets fielded, bam, just throw him at him. Just throw Roddy at Clem instead of risking a Serral or a Reynor, who are much more favored against Cure and Mana. So they send Roddy against Clem, and that should be the plan moving forward for the rest of the series, is just keep throwing Rotterdam at Clem and allow Serral and Reynor to go up against Cure and Mana whenever they can. Now, that's obviously a really good way to do with Clem. The other thing, though, is that this is going to negatively impact their 2v2. So for 2v2, they've been performing quite well. Who has been their duo? Serral and Trigger. Trigger is one of the best 2v2 players in the world. He is in the top 2 teams alongside Clem, second only to MaxPax and Spirit. So Trigger, he's one of the best 2v2 players out there in the world. He's a big asset for his team for the 2v2 portion. Here, Serral has to play with Reynor. Reynor is very inexperienced in 2v2. So Reynor's gonna be a bit of a wild card here. We'll see how well he's able to acclimate. We'll see if he's able to take direction from Serral as well. Now, something interesting here is that often whenever Serral competes in 2v2s and whenever he plays with a Zerg player alongside him, Serral, what does he do? He plays Protoss. Serral plays Protoss typically, and his Protoss is pretty good. It's pretty damn strong, and he's able to help kind of like fill in some weaknesses when it comes to a double mirror matchup. Here, I'm surprised to see it's not Serral playing Protoss this time, it's Reynor playing Protoss. And you could definitely make an argument that Reynor's Protoss is better than Serral's Protoss, so they have kind of like decided these roles, of course, and I'm really excited to see how they work as a duo coming into these 2v2s, and again, whether Reynor can take direction from Serral as well. And that leads into the final game on Dream and Scars, Reynor versus Mana in a ZVP. So coming into this Basilisk, they have a big advantage. They have a big, I would say huge advantage, just knowing and kind of sniping specific players. So they have that going for them, and we'll see how it all unfolds as we get into the first game, as we load into the Old Republic for game number 1. Let's go. Let us go. Whew. As again, this is going to be a best of 13, and we are jumping into our ZVT. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the finished Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Serral. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is a Cure. Here we go. Someone asking in the chat, is this replay cast? Yes. As I mentioned, the grand finals here of this tournament did take place over the weekend. It was clashing a little bit with SE for All, and as we mentioned, Trigger was traveling abroad to compete in SE for All. That's why Trigger is not a part of this tournament. That's why he's not a part of the grand finals. That's why Rotterdam has to step in his place instead. And again, like, I do think that because they have the advantage of knowing the lineups ahead of time, they're able to use him quite well, quite strategically here, and I mean, we'll get there. For now, we are going for our initial opener, Hashgas Pool. I do favor Serral coming into the Old Republic. We have spoken about this map quite a bit, but this map, it is very difficult to defend your third and your fourth base. We've seen many a player attempt and fail to defend their fourth bases. Even MaxPax, we casted him earlier today during the Pig Store Cup, and to be fair, MaxPax did win the game, but he did so still taking a lot of losses and still struggling struggling to maintain a fourth. He was forced into an all-in essentially, which I mean he still pulled off. But again, like, it is very difficult to defend your fringe bases here. Not impossible, but difficult. So we'll see how Cure will approach this. We'll see how he'll deal with the problem that is the Old Republic, especially against Serral. Here we go. Wonder what the rush is, why they couldn't just push it back till tonight or something. That's a good question. I would assume that it is a sponsor issue. As a reminder, this event was sponsored by Chijik. Chijik, they are a streaming platform. They are a competitor to Twitch, and they have been sponsoring, and this event was live casted on their platform. I will say that they have a lot of requirements when it comes to their event. Like, they were running a bunch of ads, they needed the broadcast to last a certain amount of time as well, and I would imagine that they kind of allotted a set amount of, like, a set date period where they were pushing and promoting the event on their platform. Basically, like, Crank had like full front page, full front page kind of like, what am I looking for? I said dominance, like support. There we go. Support promotion. He had full front page promotion and kind of slot to be able to, like, get all of that and get a bunch of viewership as well, and for all the attention to be on the event. I would imagine that they weren't really too fond of the idea of, like, cutting up the event and, you know, having some of it on one day, then skipping a day, then on another day as well. Instead, they had like a full week. I think it was like 6 days, like 6 days straight of Crank Gather's Team League. So I think they just wanted that kind of, like, more compact and, like, neat schedule. It would have been ideal if they were able to, like, spread it out a little bit to allow for Trigger to compete, but in the end, from my understanding, like, the sponsor had, like, strict requirements sort of thing. Another. For now that we do see Cure poking in, we do have the forward third base being taken from Serral, so this means that creep can spread across the map even faster. It doesn't mean that this third base is going to be more exposed. That is true. It's more of an exposed base. It's going to be more vulnerable to attacks, but at the same time, Serral will have a stronger foothold in the center of the map, a faster foothold as well. Meanwhile, Cure back at home, going for his third TC before Starport. Economic opener out of Cure, getting into his own Hellion Banshee. Everything so far is looking as it should be. Standard play out of Cure, and again, a more assertive and aggressive position here for Serral to spread and gain map control. Here we go. As we have Cloak on the way. Oh, meanwhile, we have our Roach Horn out of Serral. Again, Serral going back to what he does best. Serral, he's very fond of going into Roaches in ZVT as a matchup. It's a very safe way to play. I say he's going back to what he does best because if you remember, we were casting Serral versus Clem in Maestros of the Game. That was like the last big event that Serral did compete in. And if you recall, we saw a lot of Serral versus Clem. It was back and forth, very intense. And Serral, he was not playing Roaches in that series. He was playing a lot of Ling Bane, or specifically Ling Queen into Ultra. It was skipping Banelings and skipping Roaches. Serral, he was being very greedy, I would say, in his play, and very risky as well. It's possible that he maybe only wanted to play that style against Clem specifically, but here he's back to opening up Roach. If you remember, we spoke about how I was at least surprised to see Serral going for it because that was a style that was typically only attributed to Reynor. With Reynor, who was very fond, or he is very fond of going Ling Queen Infestor into Ultra. Basically, the point of that is that you're being greedy, you're cutting corners, you're cutting Roaches, you're cutting Banelings, and you're rushing to Hive as quickly as possible, you're rushing into Ultras as quickly as possible. And again, Serral was doing that as well during that Masters tournament in France, but here going back to Roaches. And again, this is just a safer way to play. You're not taking as many chances, as many risks. And this typically leads from Roaches into Roach Ravager Ling Bane, then into Hive Tech, then into Ultras. Of course, you do have the option available to you if you wish to cut workers early and to max out with Roach Ravager and go for an all-in. That is going to be an option for Serral. We're assuming that after +1 range, we go into +1 melee, not into +2 range. We'll get there. As Hellions are poking in, Infestation Pit is on the way. Getting into safety infestors, Banshees, nice damage. They get 4 drones so far at the natural. And there's that transition, Baneliness. So again, Roach Ravager into Ling Bane, Roach Ravager in towards Hive Tech. We'll see if Serral does make a couple of safety infestors. Again, just to be safe, to have like 2 infestors for fungal growths is not uncommon to go for, especially if you feel in danger of an 8 Rex. Cure is taking, he's taking one of his gases. He did not scout the Roach Warden itself. Mages are poking in. And so far, right now, the pressure's on Cure to do what he's doing here and denying as much creep as he can. Clearing up all these tumors. Behind this, we do have our just standard 5 rack setup with gases being taken. That's typically indicative of a 2nd factory. Typically indicative of a 4th CC. But we'll see if he builds up. Yep, there we go. 2nd factory is on the way. Cure, he's macroing. So he's macroing from here. This tells us that he's working towards a 4th command center. Meanwhile, Serral, there it is. Hive is on the way, and Serral did skip infestors. So he's skipping infestors. We have Baneling speed. Again, this should lead into +1 melee, and this should lead into ultra attack. And that's going to be the big power spike. Like, the whole purpose of the build that Serral's going for here, the whole purpose is just survive, defend until ultras, and then you can be aggressive on the map. So we have our Roach Raptor chilling. Lings, they do move. Oh, they try to move out. They're going to be deflected. And Cure is going for a push. Cure, he is getting that 2nd factory. He did not go to 4th. There we go. Now getting a 4th CC as he moves out. He's going for his move outs. What do we have to defend? What do we have to work with? We're going to have Hellbats. So Hellbats, 2 tanks. Cure, he's very fond of this Hellbat push variation. Basically, he waits for the armory, and then he can morph in Hellbats to protect the tanks. So far, he's looking for a way in. More reinforcements on the way. We have Serral. The Hive is now done. Vipers are going to be amassing initially here. Getting a handful of Vipers. That'll be ideal against the tanks. Here come the Hellbats, as we mentioned. Typically, the goal of the Hellbats is to protect those tanks to make sure they don't get surrounded by Lings. To make sure a flank doesn't shut him down. So now he's spreading. Does spread, pushing in towards that 3rd. Serral, he's maxing out on Ling Bane. And likewise, he has a couple of Ravagers as well. Sorry, a couple of Roaches even. Yeah, here come the Vipers. Vipers, they do Blinding Cloud. And with that, Serral is going to completely shut this down. Cleans up all the tanks, shuts down all the fire. And Cure, there's no escape. Yeah, the brutal Blinding Clouds, brutal Power Bombs. Matter of fact, they barely do get away, just barely. But Serral defends. And Serral has his Hive. Now, I assumed, if you recall, this was going to be leading into +1 melee, which it is. Into ultras, it's going +1 melee, but we have a Hydra Den instead. Interesting. So it looks like Serral, he wants to head towards, not ultras, but towards lurkers. I would assume, right? With Hydra Den into lurkers. So, interesting choice. You have Cure taking the 4th base. Again, this is a very exposed 4th location and very difficult to maintain. First things first, though, Cure is pushing with his 2nd wave. A bit of an awkward position. Yeah, Serral collapses in. Tank will go down. Oh, God, and yeah, Cure is getting cornered. Getting cornered here. Bailey's, they just roll on forward. They shut down the army. Do we have any power bombs? Up. Oh, power bombs, they do land. So far, nice splits here by Cure. Very nice pre-splits. Save some of the medevacs. Oh! It's close. Calm down, Serral, calm down. And Serral is maxing out. He's maxing out. He's investing into his Hydra upgrades. So that will be his anti-air of choice as well. Cure, he's getting ready for the 3rd wave. Serral, he's remaxed. He spots the army with his Ling. Let's have a look at the Vipers. The Vipers are topped up. Vipers are full of energy. Right now, there are no ghosts. And no ghosts with the army, no EMPs. There's that lurker den. Again, like, because we're not going into ultras, because we're switching into lurkers, it's a bit of a longer kind of tech path to then go Hydras, and then Hydra upgrades, then the lurker den itself, and then lurker upgrades. So it takes a lot longer to really come online. But Serral, he's fine. Like, he's not really in any danger here. He's been engaging well. And these medevacs, they are so low. One or two good well-placed power bombs will shut this down. Speaking of power bombs, gets one, gets two, gets both banshees. Green rolls in, and power bomb here in the center. Power bomb gets two medevacs. Ooh. Two medevacs go down. Lings, they don't quite force friendly fire. Not quite. Here he is maxing out. Hey, he's been able to maintain his bases. He's gotten his fourth. Now working towards the fifth base. Serral has been focusing on defending against the main armies, but he hasn't been harassing. Oh, the white shots. Oh my god. Yeah, brutal connections. Serral, he will lose every single link here. Serral, that was a big waste that he is remaxing. He's rebuilding. That link run by was lackluster. Now, with that fight going his way, what's important here is the fact that Cure is now getting a fit. Without Cure's bases being denied, things are getting a little bit scary here for Serral. And again, as you mentioned, like Serral's big power spike has been heavily delayed because he did decide to go to the lurkers instead. So Serral, he's getting there, getting to those lurkers eventually. Mine shots going up. He's spread there by Serral. Late blinding clouds as there's no support here. Yeah, the base is going to go down. Serral's reinforcements are still on the way. Does get a power bomb off. Looks like Serral, he will barely save the... Oh, does he? Does he save the base? Oh my god, barely not. So he will save the expansion. Lurkers are finally on the way. A lurkers on the way at the same time. We have the fusion core into liberators. Curie's had time to tech up, getting neo steel frames, high sec auto tracking. Ooh, Serral going for the Nidus. And getting a Nidus in the main base, I mean, this can end the game if the lurkers are here. It's getting us up to production. Likewise, engaging with the main army as well. And Serral, he may have to give up this base. He's backing up, waiting for reinforcements. Lurkers are being dealt with. Cure, he will defend. Oof. But Serral's holding. Serral, he's holding on. Cure is holding on, cleans up all the wooden mines. Cure, he plummets in supply. Cure does have a fifth base, but again, his production was stifled here. That's why Cure, he has 2,500 minerals in the bank. Ay, ay, ay. He's trying to burn through his money, throwing down CCs. Throwing down CCs. More liberators. Serral is still max. And there was definitely a window in time here where I was like, yo, Serral is not really achieving too much, and he was bleeding out his lings, he was taking some rough fights. Cure definitely had his moments until the Nidus, right? Until the Nidus roamed, then Serral, he was able to securely get that lead, maintain map control. Plenty of detection. So now he's pushing out. Now he's threatening the bases. We'll take down the CC. Now CC does burn down. He burns down. We have double spire on the way. Serral taking further up. And so he's just slowly spreading his creep. The creep is encroaching upon Cura's side of the map. It's getting there. Now we have our mass ghost. You know, now we get the ultra cap. We got there eventually. We got there. Getting into the ultras. It feels like this game was Serral kind of like, you know, stretching a little bit like you know, I'm gonna get a little bit of everything. We'll get there. We'll get there. Baileys, they crash in. They take down the planetary. We spoke at the beginning of the game how difficult it is to maintain the space. I was surprised that Cura got it up and running, but mainly because Serral was not being aggressive. Serral, he was defending back at home, purely defending. Finally, by the time Serral gets across the map, he knocks down the 4th base immediately. And again, it's just a difficult base to hold on to. Just because of how open it is. Knight is behind the 3rd. Ooh, Viper goes down. The Viper does fall. You know, we got the mass changeling behind the mineral line. Let's go. We're getting all the upgrades. Microbial Shroud. Let's go. Let's go. Get some infestors going. Again, we're taking in every which direction here. I will say, though, that Serral here has been unable to rotate and really deny these fringe bases. I would say that's one of the strengths of the aggressing player, especially on the Old Republic, is to be able to rotate between them, the 4th, the 5th, 6th base. But so far, Serral has been backing up. He backs up. He pulls in once again towards the 4th. This time, not the most valuable base. There's not many SCVs. So it gets a handful of workers. That's 4 SCVs going down. Now let's storm into the natural. And so let's finish. Nothing inside, but it does cause distraction. There we go. 4 lurkers do dive in. Oh my god. Getting 8 SCVs. Here, diving back in. Surrounds for these ghosts as well. Tried to surround. And gets one. Let's get one. The others do slip away. CCs are still going down. Down goes the 5th base. Yeah, the corner expansion goes down. 15 more CVs. But this main army from Cure, it's still looking terrifying. How many ghosts does he have? 17! 17 ghosts back. Now, without infestors, this army is never going to get locked down. I did notice an infestor earlier. It's still here in the center. Ghost overwhelmed. Cure, he's built up to a terrifying army. 19 ghosts. And again, without infestors, without fungal growths, I don't see this working here for Serral. How does he fight? How does he engage? Okay, there's an infestor nearby. Does Serral notice? Does Serral recognize that he has an infestor ready for a fungal? He just dives in. Some of the allows to connect. We get a nice spread here from the ghosts. They spread to keep pushing. 18 ghosts still up and running. Soon to be 20. And Curie's going for the kill. He's going for the throat. And he can just end the game. Straight up. He can just end the game. He has mass liberated here outside of the natural. He is moving in. With that secure, he's going for the tech, and all the tech is here. We have the ultra cabinet, the natural, we have everything else in the main. Oh, so going through the liberation zones. Nice spread here by Cure. Spreads his ghost well. Ultras pop out. Okay, collapsing on the army. A nice engage here, coming from both sides. Shout out to the reinforcing eggs, to the cocoons. Oh my god. It's still another clean fight though. Yeah, the snipes are brutal, the ultras go down. Lings are trickling in. Messy fight here for Serral, but hey, Serral, it looks like he barely has enough. Thankfully, he has all these bases, right? He has all these bases, all these expansions. Serral, he's rebuilding, remaxing. He's starved here for gas, so he's now taking more gas geysers. And again, we're getting messy. Getting very messy, Pappy. Now, are we ever going to add these infestors to the control group? Are we? Because we've had these two infestors have been here for a while. Hey, oh, you know, this is, let's go. It would have made things so much easier. But one of the infestors does move forward. So Serral, he's like, oh hey, I remember these guys. Oh, ooh, doesn't land it though. Yeah, it does not land. But Mass Ultra engages, collapses on the bio. Powerbomb here on the stacked units, on the stacked Liberators. And Serral, he's done it. Serral, he's done it. He breaks through every single Liberator. Liberators go down. The Ultras are overwhelmed. This time, most of the ghosts are fallen. How many ghosts do we have left? 4 from 22 down to 4. And the 4 ghosts. Again, not the cleanest game. Not at all, but Serral, he got there. That's going to be 20 SCV kills. Takes down all the mules, going for the fresh mining base. In the end, were the ultras really worth it? Like, I don't think they were. I mean, we got like one Nidus into the main base, which did disrupt the production that one time. True, true. Outside of that, the lurkers, they didn't really achieve too much. Referring to the lurker tech. I think I said ultra at the time. As Lings, they attempt to engage, they attempt to surround. Still a bit of an awkward engagement here from Serral. He's getting choked up. Ooh. He just get choked up. A lot of ultras fall, but GG gets called. Serral, he will take game number 1. He'll take a lead in the series for Basilisk. GG. GG well played. As you mentioned, not the cleanest game here from Serral. It did feel like he was spreading his wings a little bit. It was an interesting choice for Serral to go from Ling Bane into Hive into specifically not Ultra, but into Lurker tech. But as you mentioned at the time, it is delayed. Like, it was delayed because he waited for the Hive before getting his Hydrogen, so it took a long time to get Lurkers up and running. And even when he got his Lurkers up, they didn't really achieve too much. This also might be a little bit of an experience with the maps. This is one of the downsides for specifically Serral and Reynor, is that all these other players are very, very active in the online tournament scene. What does that mean? All these online tournaments, whether it's our tournaments, Wardy's tournaments, Pegasus Cups, Monday Night Weeklies, they've all been incorporating these TLMC 21 maps, right? We've seen plenty of games on the Old Republic, plenty of games on 10,000 Feet, for example, Celestial Enclave, Title Citadel, Throne of the Dunes, right? All these maps, like, have been incorporated by these other tournaments, by these online weeklies. So players like Cure, like Clem, like MaxPax, like these other more active players, Hero as well, they're getting a little more experience, a little more well versed. They are quicker to recognize as a result kind of the strengths and weaknesses of certain maps. As I mentioned before, like, I do feel like some of the, specifically the 4th, 5th, and 6th base are more accessible, but Serral was playing very defensive, very passive in this game, where it took him a long time to start aggressing upon Cure. Once he was knocking down bases, but it took a long time for that to happen. He was like absorbing blow after blow, but still just taking up. Partially could also be, you know, first game of the day, of course, but with that GG well played. Serral still does take the first game, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. And this is kind of like the sacrificial game. I love it though, I love it. Big shout out to Ome Rotterdam, Roddy Papi, because Roddy steps into the ring and he's going to be thrown at Clem. And again, this should be the strategy moving forward. 100%. This should be the strat. as we are getting into our PvT. Let's go. Here we go, and spawning in the top left hand corner of Mothership, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid, currently down in the series, but looking to bounce back and looking to tie things up. It is a Clem. And spawning in the bottom side. On the bottom side here on Mothership, we have the typically caster, but now stepping into the player role, we have the red Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands, representing Basilisk. It is Rotterdam. Let's go, baby, let's go. And again, if you're in the chats, let me know if there's any issues with the Twitch stream. This morning, for this morning's broadcast, there was some weird connectivity issues, and we actually had to switch Twitch servers. The Australian server was struggling. We had to switch to the Japanese server instead. So if there's any issues, let us know when it comes to any kind of stuttering or any kind of like weird like frame drops or lag spikes. But hopefully everything's okay. Everything's okay. As we're settling in, and we are going for a double gas opener. Okay, now for those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the series, and for those of you that weren't here for the explanation as to what's going on, very quickly here, because I'm sure there's some that are just now tuning in, for this tournament, who are the big three? The big three for Basilisk, it is Serral, Reynor, and Trigger. But this tournament did take place while Trigger was not available. Why? If you remember, if you were here over the weekend, SC for All. There was a big LAN event happening in Philadelphia in the Americas, and Trigger was flying over to compete in SC for All. So Trigger was not available here for this series, not available for the grand finals of this team league. So that's where Roddy steps in. And as a reminder as well, Basilisk, they have a big advantage in this series. They know where players are being fielded. They knew that Clem was going to be on Mothership, so they're throwing Roddy at Clem. And this should be the strat moving forward for the rest of this series. Whenever Clem plays, throw Roddy at him. so he can just tank Clem. Just tank him, baby. Tank him. But I also want to say, you know, Roddy, he's a good player himself. He can be very cheeky himself, and I want to believe that he's got some spice, baby. He's got some cheeky builds ready to try to cheese the hell out of Clem. I would want to believe that he's got something. He's got something crazy. Whether it works or not, we'll see. But like, I want to see some flair here out of Roddy. Let's go. Hey, we're on Mothership, 3-player spawn map, very large map as well, and my eyes are on this probe. As you can see, intentional here. I mean, he could just be hiding from the Reaper to go back in for a follow-up scout. Stargate opener out of Roddy. What is Roddy known for? He's known for Phoenixes, known for Proxy Tempest as well. So my assumption is potentially even we set up a proxy location, or we get ready for extra Stargates. We'll see what Roddy goes for. For now, Stargate. For now, it's going for the Stargate. Reaper's going to be zoned away. Back at him, Clem is going for his safety CC on the high ground. Again, very safe play here. Double gas, faster factory, delayed command center, going for his early 1-1-1 into drop play. Stargate is done. Here come the initial Phoenixes. Let's test the server connection. Read my name and see if the audio stutters. You're an animal, papi. You're an animal. Shema, papi. Shema. God, no. Jesus. I need Kura here to pronounce the name, and then me to fail the imitation of the pronunciation. Hold on. As we do have our initial drop moving out, we'll threaten. So far, there's going to be one Reaper going down. Cyclone pokes in. Does poke in. So far, Roddy, he is holding, he's defending. The probe is still out on the map. Bear that in mind. And Clem is rallying. Oh, he's just rallying. Yeah, he's going for the tank and he's going for the Viking. Clem is just going for like a quote-unquote all-in. He's rallying everything he can across the map. The Viking can land to add some DPS, but because the Phoenixes, then it's wise to keep it up in the air and to just push in to end the game here and now. Let's go. Lock-on is broken. How many Phoenixes so far? 4 Phoenixes here for Roddy. He's got 2 shield batteries. Tank within range of the pylon. That's not just the pylon. Oh, yeah, the pylon's under fire. Shield batteries, they're being spent on the pylon. The pylon will go down. Pylon does fall. Phoenixes, they try to dive in. They try to get on top of that tank. Charge is on the way. And Clemmy scans. Clemmy scans. Sees the army. And he's content with just killing the third. Just killing the third base. Rotterdam, he is going to be diving in. Oh, he tries. He can't touch the army. He's trying though. Oh god. Tank blows are brutal. Charge is not yet done. Slow lots are going down. Nice kiting here with the Marines. Yeah, Kite 12 cleans up every single zealot. The natural base will fall. Phoenixes are being thrown away. Losing 1, losing 2 Phoenixes. And that's going to be game. That's going to be game. As Rotterdam, he will lose everything. The natural, the army. Clem is walking in. Roddy, he's got 1 zealot with charge. Let's go. Oh, he's gonna have 2. He's gonna have 3. That's all he needs, Pappy. He's got 1 for each tank. True. 4 zealots. My god. 4 zealots. And for that's rough here. Here was the final army. Phoenix is gonna be thrown away as well, and Clem does not rush up the ramp into the main base. And we're on some high grade copium right now. Let's go. We got 3 more zealots. 3 more. We can do it. Rotterdam did get a proxy across the map, but GG gets called. GG gets called, and Clem, he will tie up the series at 1-1. Whew. GG. Hold on.
Brzeczyszczykiewicz.
But I can't. How's the name that was asked of me to pronounce in the chat? But GG will play. GG will played. With that, we are tied up 1-1, and we'll see who takes a lead in the series here. Again, shout out to Rotterdam for stepping up. Did open up Phoenix's Mass Phoenix. Unfortunately, these Phoenix openers are very, very vulnerable to early game aggression, and early game all-ins. This is why Phoenix and Stargate openers did fall out of favor this year, and even end of last year, because of the rise in popularity of all-ins in Terran, or aggressive play in Terran versus Protoss. So that's why we see less of this. Roddy, of course, you know, he's known for his Stargate play. You know, that's who he be. That is his style. So he commits to it regardless. But again, it is difficult to defend against these early pushes with said Stargate play. Is difficult. With that, GG well played. With that, Clem does tie things up, and now we are getting ready for our 2v2. Let's go. We are getting ready. And I am very excited to see how these 2 players work together here. Oh boy. Now, when it comes to 2v2, as I mentioned before, usually the 2v2 duo, and they're a very strong duo, are Serral and Trigger. Like, they are the 2v2 team for Basilisk. They play a lot together, or they played a lot together for this tournament, and they both individually compete a lot in 2v2 tournaments as well. Someone who is not familiar with 2v2, someone who does not compete in the 2v2 events, is Reynor. Reynor, he's less experienced, he is less knowledgeable here, so we'll see if Reynor can kind of take cues from Serral. We'll see if they can work together. We'll see if Reynor can pull this off. Let's go. It's going to be Reynor and Serral up against Clem and Mana in that 2v2. Let's go. Here we go. As spawning in the top right hand corner here of Gem Garden, we have our teal and blue duo. We have our teal Terran and Clem. We have our blue Protoss and Mana. We have Team Liquid. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the red Zerg player in Serral. We have the orange Protoss in Reynor. It is Basilisk. Let's go. Let us go. We have our 2v2, and again, we're featuring Reynor for the first time in 2v2 as well, and Reynor, he has opted to play Protoss. As we mentioned previously here, Serral, he does play Protoss in 2v2 when he needs to. If he ever has a Zerg teammate, he does play Protoss, but in this match, it looks like Reynor has decided himself to be the one to play Protoss instead, which I'm not opposed to. I do believe that Reynor's Protoss is better than Serral's Protoss, even if it's just slightly. So I do think this is going to be a nice addition here. But as you mentioned before, Reynor, he's less experienced in 2v2. The meta is different. The games are different. Some of the abilities, of course, when I say abilities, some of the strategies are very, very different as well, especially when it comes to sharing resources and working together. Teamwork, communication is a big part of 2v2, and we'll see how these two work together, if at all. Meanwhile, Clem and Mana, they've been competing together throughout the entire tournament with success as well. So far, going for standard builds. So far, so good. Okay. 4 consonants in a row. Oh no. Not like this. As from here, we do have Mana going to be pylon blocking Reynor's expansion. So Reynor, his own nexus is going to be delayed. Not a bad start. So delayed expansion is going to be Stargate opener here out of Mana. So we have a tech of choice from Team Liquid. Likewise, we have Clem going for his own single gas Rax expand economic opener out of Clem. So we're building up into a longer game state, at least so far, from the side of Team Liquid. Likewise, Serral getting his third base up and droning. So there's no hyper aggression. When it comes to all-ins, we have seen them have mixed success in 2v2. Oh, as the first Reaper has arrived. Second pylon thrown down. Serral will defend. Zones away the Reaper. Reynor can now expand. Now, as we compare the two teams here, Reynor, he will have the later expansion. Likewise, Reynor, he will have the later tech as well. So Reynor, he does feel like he's slightly behind that of Mana. Reynor going for his own pylon block, blocking the add-on swap even. Okay, let's go. Does not allow the factory to land on the reactor. So cheeky moves out of Reynor. Very cheeky. Oh, even lets it finish, delaying even further. Okay. Does let it finish. Behind this, getting into a zone 1-1-1. And we have a second Stargate for Mana. So double Stargate Phoenix out of our Protoss player. Bearing in mind, as I mentioned previously as well, we can, or this is base game 2v2, base vanilla 2v2. That means that resource trading is going to be available sooner for our players. That may come into play. Just going into a third star. Jesus, going Mass Phoenix. Okay, so Mass Phoenix out of our Protoss. And if we want to go full meta here, then in 2v2, Mass Phoenix alongside Mech is kind of the go-to. So we'll see if Clem also does embrace Mech. We'll keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, we have an earlier lair out of Serral. This was what, a 340, 350-ish lair timing. So very early lair timing here out of Serral. We have melee on the way, second gas geyser. Because this lair is so fast, my assumption here is Mutas, right? I mean, they know it's a Stargate opener. They know what the Phoenix is. They scouted the second Stargate. We'll see. We'll see what it goes for. I mean, we could just see Hydra tech, right? We could see plus on melee into Hydra Den, or we could see Aspire into Corruptors. That might be the go-to. I'm hoping it's not Aspire into Mutas, as there are so many Phoenix. At this point, he sees the additional Phoenixes. There's Aspire. And I'm hoping we don't go into Mass Muta from here, because we have triple Stargates up and running. Like, yeah, again, now they're aware, right? Now they see the Phoenix counts. So it's going to be Corruptors to support. Meanwhile, what's going to be the answer here for the Terran player? We have Clem getting a third CC, being quite greedy. Third CC before any other production building after the 1-1-1. Queen gets caught out. Reynor's trying to keep up. Blink is just about to finish. He can blink in. Gets one. Gets one Phoenix. And it's going to be Bio. I was curious. This is going to be Mecha or Bio. We have two more Raxes on the way. Stim is being produced. Clem is playing Bio. And Mana is still enjoying just mass Phoenix. And Corruptors are a nice supportive unit against Phoenixes, for sure. Of course, they're slower, but they are tanky, quite tanky. They can hold their own. Unfortunately, they're really allowed to harass much. There we go, Corruptors are on the way. They pack back in. And again, this has been a bit of a shaky game here for Team Basilisk. Oh no! Goes back in. No, we come back too soon! Yeah, comes back too soon. More drones gonna be going down. Oh my god. Those things, they attempt us around. They attempt. Hellions, they slip away. Barely do slip away. That's gonna be 7 drones going down so far. Phoenix is going back in. Again, there's only 3 Corruptors, but the Stalkers are not too far behind. Stalkers are responding. So we have a fourth Stargate on the way, getting to Phoenix range. +1 air attack is about to finish up. Oh. Reynor, he does catch a couple of Phoenixes. I'm just a little bit concerned about the main Terran army here. Like, it feels like the armies that are being built up by Serral and Reynor, they're going to be ideal a little bit more against the Phoenixes to keep up to defend. But where's the splash damage, right? I'm waiting for Storm, waiting for Colossus. One of the two to help support against the Bio army. Meanwhile, Serral, there's no Bailey Nest, it's just Ling Corruptor. So Clem is going to be a problem. Like, now, this could be Ling Corruptor into Ultra, right? We have +2 melee on the way. No infestation bit yet. Serral's on his own. Yeah, Serral on his own. I feel like he shouldn't be here. Leading out Corruptors. Taking a lot of damage. Reynor now coming in. Now it does deter. Gets 2 Phoenixes. That was what? That was 7 Corruptors going down. And so far, 9 Phoenixes have fallen throughout the course of the game. Oh, can we surround? So we're coming in. Reynor, likewise, coming in from behind as well. Does blink. Oh, does try to blink. Doesn't quite get the surround though. Phoenixes that do dance away. And here comes Clem. Yeah, here comes Clem. Mass lift as well. And Team Liquid is snowballing out of control. They punish the Corruptors. And again, where's the splash damage? There is none. Oh my god. Yeah, Mana popping up, just lifting almost every single Stalker. And then Clem can just stim in. He can stim, he can win. He stims down every single Stalker. Reynor, he's got almost nothing left. Serral, he's working with purely Corruptor. Again, there's no Bailings. There's no Infestors, no Fungals. Nothing else backy. Oh, nice thing run by there. Nice run by, nice counterattack. And Clem, he just stim forward. Like, he doesn't even have to micro back. He stims in. Stalkers, they dive on the army, trying to force friendly fire. Q moves out of Reynor. But last Team Liquid, they still just rally in. The boys are being pulled. Once again, they try to force some friendly fire. Oh my god. Mass Corruptors are trying to hold on. Clemmy's running out of Marines. And Basils, they might be able to... Nah, no, I was going to say they might be able to hold on. Nah, with the reinforcements. Clem, he barrels on through. Pushing into the mineral lines. Gets in. And this, as we mentioned before, like, this was going to be an issue here. GG gets called, and both at Clem and Mana, they will take a lead for Team Liquid. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As Clem and Mana, they do put a point on the board. I do apologize for not updating the points and not updating the score in-game. Do apologize, it was just a little bit engrossed in the series itself. But congratulations, Clem and Mana. They do take a lead for Team Liquid. And as we mentioned, this matchup was going to be an issue here with both Reynor and Serral, as they are a little bit less familiar with each other in 2v2s compared to Trigger and Serral. And this might be a weak point in this series, is the 2v2. Is going to be that 2v2 matchup. So Clem and Mana, they do take that lead. And with that, we're getting into our next game. We're going to be getting into our 4th game of the series. We'll see if BASILISK can tie things up. We'll see if Team Liquid can extend their lead as we load into Dreams and Scars, as we load into Mana versus Reynor. Oh boy. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Dream and Scars, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-1. It is Mana. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Italian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing BASILISK. It is Reynor. Here we go. We have our players, we have our matchups. And welcome to Dream and Scars. Dream and Scars is a 4-player spawn map, but it does force cross spawns, or it does force diagonal spawns, I should say. So you either spawn in bottom left and top right, or bottom right and top left. So only diagonal spawns. Did you see that? That's so loud. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Basically, and yeah, Reynor, he's a little bit upset about it. Yep. The critter was blocking. there's like a little sheep. Oh, good. there's like a little sheep around here that was blocking the expansion. That should not. That's unfortunately, you know, this map is not optimized for the ladder yet, and there's little things like that that can influence things. And yes, Mana, the animals, they're working for Mana, papi. Let's go. So already a nice start for Mana, as Reynor has a delayed and disrupted opener. So clearly the map maker working for Mana. True. There are some quirks when it comes to this map. We've already seen Reaper cliffs are a little bit weird, and they're not really optimized. But that's not going to be impactful in this series, thankfully. There's no Reapers, but that's something to bear in mind for later on in the series. See in chat, what round of playoffs is the Grand Finals? The Grand Finals. You know what? I can probably just update that. I might just do that in the title. Bam. There we go. There we go. As for now, I mean, despite the disrupted opener here, it's going to be a hatch gas full out of Reynor. Likewise, we do see Mana going for Stargate into his third base. Everything's looking normal, everything's looking standard. Mana, he has been very fond of going for delayed Archon drop opener. So this is going to be a Stargate into a third base, into Twilight Council, Robo, Twilight Council, Temple Archives. Has been very fond of that style and very fond of that build. We'll see if he goes for it here, though, as he's opening up Void Ray. Okay, Mana, he is coming in with a plan, with a cheeky build. He will hunt down the Overlords, and it will keep Reynor in the dark. Meanwhile, Reynor, he's spreading creep very quickly across the map. This is the one advantage of Reynor being forced to take the unnatural. Natural is the creep spread, right? The creep is very quickly advancing forward. And it means that if Reynor were to go for an all-in, it can hit quite hard. That's one of the downsides of this map. We didn't really get to talk about it, but we do have a pretty secure 2-base setup, but the third expansion is more exposed. Whether it's this third base here or the third base on the left-hand side as well. The reasoning for this, of course, is because of how wide the entrances can be and the amount of angles of attack. You can knock down these rocks. These are destructible rocks, so you can create another entrance in towards the natural. Likewise, you can push in from the right-hand side, push in from the bottom side as well, in between the third and natural. So there are ways to punish, there are ways to be hyper aggressive, and it can be difficult to defend on 3 bases. So all-ins will have the advantage. Now Reynor coming in for the scout. Again, you can get free worker scouts with that worker path coming into the natural. Wings, they move in. They get a full surround. Where are the adepts? Void Rays across the map. Adepts, they were at the natural, out of position. That's going to be a lot of damage out here to the Nexus. Oh, goes to this round. It does surround the adepts, and we'll get 2. Does he get all 3? Oh my god, yeah, all 3 adepts do fall. Likewise, diving on the sentry. Yeah, the force field won't save it. Sentry still goes down as well. Massive pickups here by Reynor. And we have the follow-up at +1 and blink. So standard follow-up here out of mana despite the Void Ray. As Reynor does pull back. Reynor, he pulls back. Reynor going for another scout. Let's go. Again, this is a worker path. Fun fact, Lings cannot fit through this. Likewise, Marines, no unit can fit through this outside of workers, and the drone just gets a free scout into the main again. Just walks in. Just walks in, confirms the Forge, the Twilight Council, the gateways. He's like, man, who needs overlords when you got drones? True. That's the Reynor. As Reynor does go for the +1. +1, layers on the way, gas is now being taken as well. We're going Roach into Hydra tech. Seems to be the case, as we are taking every... Actually, should either be Hydras or we could go for a Spire. 6 gases are being taken. What are you taking into? Yeah, that's going to be a lot of gas. Mana's poking in. Takes down a couple of tumors. We spoke earlier about the entrance here into the natural. It knocks down the rocks. Reynor, he's cutting workers. You can see here at 65. Oh, sorry, 66. 66 drones. That is 3-base saturation. And Reynor, this 4th base may just be for larva. We spoke about it, how strong 3-base all-ins are on this map, but no, never mind. He's droning up a little bit further, and it is indeed Hydra tech. Okay, so he's taking up. Still knocking down those rocks. Merely just setting up. Mana will confirm. Up, up, up. Oh my god, barely saved on 8 HP. Fun fact, Reynor did panic, and in his panic it allowed the rocks to actually survive. I don't know if you noticed, but when the stalkers actually decide to move around and attack, Reynor, he targeted all the Lings on one rock, whereas they all share the same HP pool, so he actually had reduced DPS. Still does break down the rocks, does try to slip in. Nice stasis ward, nice stasis trap. And Reynor, he is droning. Okay, there we go. 4 more drones on the way, so now it's starting to saturate his 4th base. I will say that these drones are late. So late droning, late saturation out of Reynor. Does run up to 71. Is pushing. Mana, he's spread thin. He's off towards the left-hand side. He's trying to rotate over. And Reynor, he wants the Nexus. 2 more volleys. On the last. Oh my god, barely. Barely does bring it down. At the same time, Lings, they do distract in the bases, forcing Storm in the mineral line. Scary. Wait that up. Be careful. As Reynor pulls away. Nice catch on the Void Ray. Reynor, he rotates over towards the natural. Remember, Storm is done. No Ravagers. Oh. Things they run away the High Templar. And Roach, as they manage to get all the way into the main base. Ay, ay, ay. They slip into the main. Army's distracted. Thankfully, there are some Stalkers in position. And Reynor, he has to be careful. He has to respect the storms. His army's so fragile. From here, he pulls away. And Reynor, he's been able to get some damage done here. 10 probes do fall, and Reynor behind this, as he does catch the Oracle, is Hive Tech and Lurker Tech. So we're taking up in towards the late game, joining up on 4 bases, now taking the gases. We should soon be taking a 5th base. Reynor still applying pressure, bleeds out some Hydras. Expensive losses here for Reynor, but at the same time, Lings, they get into the natural. Lings, they bust into the main base, and there's nothing here. No. Mana's being pulled apart. GG gets called, and Reynor, he will tie things up 2-2. We have a tied series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We tie things up here 2-2, and I'll be honest, I can see this going all the way to game 13. I can see this going all the way to the ace match. We'll get into it here. Let us switch our scenes over and catch up on the lineups here. So first things first, we are tied up 2-2. Oh, sorry, I do have to fix this up. Yeah, there we go. Do have to fix that up, but we're tied up 2-2 here. And the way that this works, of course, as you can see, is we finish our first 4. We finish our first 4 matches. Now, the thing about these first 4 matches here is that what games were won, what games were lost. So for Basilisk, there are 2 players that they're relying upon to do well are Serral and Reynor individually, and they won their games. True. Rotterdam, he's here to tank. He's here to tank Clem, and he's here to keep Clem busy. So again, that was Team Liquid taking the win. And again, I did mention earlier that I do favor Clem and Mana in the 2v2s against Reynor and Serral. So if this trend continues, we might just keep getting that back and forth. Like, we'll see. We'll see. Of course, Curie can hold his own as well. Mana can hold his own, but again, Serral and Reynor are the 2 best Zerg players in the world, so they're going to be favored in their matches unless they do play against Clem. I did mention earlier that the advantage that Basilisk having coming in from the upper bracket is knowing the lineups ahead of time. But here we go. We're about to reveal our next 4 matchups, our next 4 games. Let's go. So the way this format works is that it is a best of 13. Best of 13, we reveal our first 4 lineups, we play out our first 4 games, and then we get a roster refresh. We get a roster refresh, which means our players are revitalized. It means that we can refield our players. We can refield Serral, Clem, Mana, Reynor, right? You can only field them once until we finish our first 4 games, then we can field them again. And that's going to be for the next 4, so that'll be 8 games, and then we do it again for the next 12, for 12 games, right? Like 3 sets, 3 refreshes essentially, if the series goes that long. Remember, best of 13 is first to 7. First to 7 do claim the win. And let's go. Oh, we're getting ready here for our next lineup. For now, we're going to be taking a step back. We're going to be going on a very short break here, and when we return, we will have that next lineup. So we'll see you soon in only a couple of minutes. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, and get ready for the rest of the grand finals. See you soon. See you very soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, welcome back to the second third here of the broadcast of the best of 13 finals between Basilisk and Team Liquid. We are currently tied up 2-2, and I was notified by the admin of the event that the rules, that the advantage that Basilisk had only applied to the first lineup. Okay, so I was curious if they were going to be notified which players would be fielded for every refresh, only for the first lineup here. So here on forward, the lineups, the players are being revealed at the same time. So the way this works is that both team captains, it'll be Rotterdam for Basilisk and Mana for Team Liquid, they do actually reveal, or they do send the players that they want to field to the admin, and then it is revealed to the teams at the same time. They do know the maps ahead of time though. So we have Ruby Rock for game 1, we have Ruby Rock up next, Gem Garden of course for the 2v2s, 10,000 feet, and Andromeda. And we have our players. Bam! We have our revealed players here. It is going to be... Oh my god. Okay. Roddy versus Mana. So, again, initially they used Rotterdam to tank Clem, but now they don't know where Clem is. They don't know where he's being fielded. So Rotterdam, he does show up against Mana this time in a PvP on Ruby Rock. We have Serral and Reynor versus Clem and Mana on Gem Garden. We have Reynor versus Clem on 10,000 feet. That's going to be a spicy ZVT. And Serral versus Cure, a rematch on Andromeda. Also a Zerg versus Terran matchup. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Oh. As the best ofs do continue here. As the best ofs do continue. Let's go. So we are going to be jumping into our next matchup. We're going to be jumping into our next set. Oh. And up next is going to be Rotterdam and Mana. Here we go for our next game. And again, as a reminder, first to 7. First to 7 will claim the win. First to 7 will be our champions. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have our Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Mana. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands representing Basilisk. It is Rotterdam. Here we go. And again, Roddy, he's got a lot of work to do. He definitely has some big shoes to fill, as he's going to be filling in for a Trigger for this series. Aye. Let's go. Let us go. So for the time being, we're going to be settling in. We do have Mana moving out with his probe scouts, and we'll see how Rotterdam does approach this. Again, I'm a little bit unfamiliar with Rotterdam's tendencies. I do know that he does love his Stargate play against Terran, and I would imagine against Protoss as well. Against Zerg as well, but against Protoss, does he also play Stargate? Does he also try to go into Phoenix Wars? Or does he try to make that work? I do not know. We're about to find out. We're about to find out together here. As he does open up 2 gates. And he's going for his probe scout across the map. This probe is rallied here to the natural, as you can see. Not rallied to a corner, not rallied for a proxy. As Rotterdam, he's going for the high ground setup here. He's going for the in-base setup. Interesting. The downside of going for your buildings close to your nexus is that you are unable to wall off like this to stop shades, to stop adept shades coming into your bases. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Rotterdam to defend, just as a heads up. He is going to be a little bit more vulnerable to aggression. It is a choice to make. Like, the upside is that technically this is more efficient because it takes less time for your probe to throw down a building and to go back to mining. So technically this is slightly more economic. Oh, as Mana goes to the pylon block. Oh no, he looks in 3 probes. There's 3 probes stuck in there. He lets it finish as well. Oh no. Let him out, Pappy. Let him out. So Cheeky moves out of Mana, does catch, does lock down 3 probes. And with that Mana, he will have an economic lead. Behind this, going Stalker Sentry. Pylon is killed. Probes, they're let free. So Cheeky move out of Mana. Locking up 3 of the workers of Rotterdam. From here we're breaking out. And now we can look to expand. There we go, naturals only for Mana. Rotterdam should likewise soon be expanding. Hello, never mind, 1 base all in. So 1 base all in, we have the pylon, we're gonna have the gateways as well. Rotterdam is gonna commit across the map. Does get eyes on the Nexus. He's ready the expansion. So far, 2 gateways. Hallucination confirms a lack of other base. Third gateway gets thrown down. The hallucination does not yet confirm. But at least Mana sees that there's no nexus. So he's somewhat aware. He's somewhat aware. Oh. And Rotterdam, he's got 4 gateways. So again, it's going to be 4 gates. It's going to be a 1-base 4 gate all in. Already going for the ninja. Okay. Does go for a ninja expansion. Bold move. Interesting. That tells us that Rotterdam believes that he can't kill. Again, this should be an all in here, but there's going to be a lot of resources invested elsewhere. And look down the stalkers. Force fields, they don't quite get the stalkers though. Yeah, Mana does step away. Mana steps away, tops up his own stalkers. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Mana. Mana is up by 10 probes. Like Mana, he doesn't need a ninja base. Like he just expanded. Like he's likewise, he has the extra shield batteries to give him that support at the natural. Stalker counts are neck and neck. And Roddy now going for the Stargate and the Twilight Council both at the same time. Ooh. Oh no, Mana scouts. I wonder if like this is known. I wonder if like people know that Roddy does this, that he goes for ninja bases. Like I would not have the wherewithal to scout for that sort of thing, but maybe it's a little bit more accustomed to Roddy's play. As there's a recall, getting to charge. Mana is at least aware. And we're going charge and Phoenix support. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Now, unfortunately, unlike the defense that we just saw at Mana, Rotterdam, he has no shield batteries, so there's no shield batteries. He can try to pull the boys. The Phoenix can lift the Immortal, can at least try to. Does it get baited? There is a hallucination. Nice force fields, locks down a good chunk of units. Boys are being pulled. Once again, nice force fields. As the stalkers are being locked down, the boys are falling as well. Getting on top of the Twilight Council. Does get on top. Phoenix does fall. Ah, he got baited. Lifts the hallucination, and with that, Mana is done. Mana, he has broken through, will overwhelm, and Mana will take a lead for Team Liquid as he takes down the final Phoenix. Now, final Phoenix falls. We have the Prism here to juggle to micro to retain the army. GG gets called, and Mana takes that lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Mana, he was looking a little more comfortable in said game. I should set up the players here. Rotterdam. Beautiful. Looking a little more comfortable here. He was in control. He was able to confirm the all-in, set up back at home with the shield batteries, and Rotterdam, he did try to deviate away with the ninja base. Unfortunately, Mana was so quick to scout and to confirm the ninja base, so that was a little bit unfortunate for Rotterdam that it was seen and found early on. It meant that he couldn't really make use of it. We saw that Mana was quick to punish. GG. GG, well played. With that, we do now have a lead. We do now have a lead here for Team Liquid, and we'll see if they can hold on to that lead, because up next we have the 2v2, and we'll see if Serral and Reynor can adapt over time, and we'll see if they can come up with a different kind of build, different kind of setup, different kind of strategy. We'll see how they do adapt over time as they get a little bit more accustomed with each other in 2v2. Let's go. Clem, Mana. Serral and Reynor. Beautiful. And spawning in the... There we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gem Garden, we have the blue duo themselves. We have the teal Terran and Clem. We have the blue Protoss in Mana. We have Team Liquid. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the red team. We have the Finnish Zerg player in Serral. We have the Italian Protoss in Reynor. We have Basilisk. Let's go. Let us go. Again, Reynor is going to be filling in as Serral's 2-2 partner, replacing Trigger. Last game, we saw them both struggle to really keep up, and they were just really reacting mainly to Mana. Mana did open up Mass Phoenix in the last game, and both Serral and Reynor were stuck responding and reacting with Corruptors, with Blink Stalkers, and Clem's Biotank army became a big problem, as there was no clear answer to that. And meanwhile, we have a much more aggressive build. We've seen a lot of all-ins from both Mana and Clem in 2v2s. We have a second Rax on the way, it looks like 2 Rax Reaper, and we have seen the follow-up of this be 4 Rax 2 base all-in. Meanwhile, we have a 2 gate opener out of Mana. So hyper aggression out of Team Liquid. 2 Rax Reaper, 2 gate opener. And we do see a scout. Nice scout, nice confirmation by Reynor. He does scout the extra Rax, he does scout both gateways. He pinged, I don't know if you noticed, he did ping to Serral, so they know. They know what's coming their way. It's on both Reynor and Serral to react, to respond, to survive. They also know not to be too greedy, of course. As I said, it was going to be 2 Rax, it's going to be 3 Rax. Okay, so 3 Rax Mass Reaper here from Clem. Reynor, he does scout all 3. He just ping as well. So he pinged. Ensuring that Serral also knows. I imagine their own voice, but pinging helps. So we got the Reapers are building up. Queens are on the way. They are checking the proxy location. We have seen Mana do this 2 gate opener with a proxy robo on the right hand side. So it looks like they're checking for that. We can see that Mana is expanding, not going for the proxy. Yeah, it's first Reaper zoned away, second Reaper has arrived. And we're waiting for the Adept support. Here they come. Again, 2 Adepts at a time for Mana. Does shade in, does collapse on the Adept. Nice pickup. Takes out Reynor's Adept, takes out Reynor's Zealot. Reynor down to 1 Stalker. So far, they're holding on. Behind this, we see Mana going for his own Twilight Council. Likewise, Clem is expanding. He wants the Queen. Oh, he wants. The Queen's going to go down. Yeah, the Queen's exposed. Nice KDA charge. Queen goes down. Link speed is almost done. True. With Link speed, Serral, he can engage. He can surround. There it is. There's Link speed. The army does kite back. Army kites back. More Lings are amassing. Twilight Council out of Reynor. And we have Glaive Adepts from Mana. Oh boy. Okay. So the aggression continues. Mana following up with Glaives. Ideally, he wants to retain these Adepts. Serral pulls away. Reynor and Serral, they do defend. They defend, they survive. Now, Reynor's base is quite late. You can see here that Mana's base is already up and running. Reynor's was heavily delayed. So economically, Reynor's, it's looking a little bit shaky. Likewise, third base is also delayed for Serral as well. So we'll see if they can get any counter damage. They're trying. They're trying to. Anyway, we have our follow-up sim timing here. It's going to be the 3-1-1, I believe. Yeah. With +1, so it's going to be very strong timing here from Clem and Mana. Glaive's almost complete. The Marines are building up back at home. I see Serral attempting to surround. And together they can, I mean, they can work together here. We have Reynor from one side, we have Serral from the other. Say that Serral actually races back home. So no surround potential. Let's say don't commit to the shade. Reynor, who was faked out. Did fake out. That's 20 more links in production for Serral. He's cutting saturation. Bailey Nest on the way as well. So we're getting a little bit rowdy. Getting rowdy. As Lingzai try to engage. At FC hold their own. The Lingzai just cannot, they kind of push into this. Yeah, they're just bullying their way forward. And here comes the main army. Here comes the bio. The Marines are coming. Stim is coming. We have 6 Bailings on the way. 9 Bailings. Bailing speed is not... the lair only just started? No shot. 6-minute lair. Ay, ay, ay. These Bailings, they should not connect. We'll see if they do. Bailings are welling in. Nice target firing. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. There's 6 Bailings left. Down to 5. 5 Bailings remaining. Looks like they will connect with some of the Adepts. But yeah, they break through. Yeah, Mana and Clem, they're breaking through. They overwhelm the natural. Oh my, so many overlords going down as well. And does catch all the overlords, gets into the mineral line. Drones are falling. Adepts, they shade in, they shade back. And Clem and Mana, they will overwhelm. I mean, the Marine's getting low, true. The Marine's getting low. Bailings, it looks like they will connect. Adepts have cleaned up, and Serral and Reynor, they survive. They survive, Pappy. They hold on. Now, the thing that concerns me the most is the economy. Both Serral and Reynor lost a lot of workers here. And quickly checking, 36 drones and 28 probes against 47 probes and 47 SCVs. Clem and Mana have the superior economy. They are looking very comfortable. They may not have killed, but they did cripple. They did cripple Team Basilisk. Basilisk have been crippled. Double drop across the map. Adepts, they do shade in. They shade in, they shade forward. Meanwhile, double drop here into the bases. The lair just now finished. We have +2 melee on the way here for Serral. Back at home, there's not much to defend. There's a recall. Okay, there's a recall back home, thankfully. There's a recall back. Marines, they do rush in. Stalker's in position. And Reynor will defend. Ooh, even gets a medevac. Oh, barely. Barely gets a medevac. Lings, likewise, they do get into the bases. Damage is being done. There's a recall from Mana. Okay. We have a bit of a back and forth here. I say a bit of a back and forth. Reynor's still struggling. Like, Reynor still has a very low probe count. At upset to 9 mining. Reynor, he just wants an economy. Mana's getting his 3rd. Reynor still on 2 bases. Still barely on 2 bases. He just wants to mine, Pappy. And again, Reynor and Serral, they're just being pulled apart. Just some critical damage. And here comes Mana's main army. Likewise, drops from Clem. They just keep going. So going for a split push. Clem gets spotted. Oh no, it's unable to blink over to the other side. Adepts A shade in, and Mana's main army headed towards the bases of Serral. Serral trying to respond, trying to react. There's only so much he can do. They've just split out so much throughout the course of this game. Storm is done. Storm is done for Reynor. Link made nice, very nice Bailey connections. Okay. Bailey's just shut down the Adepts. Lings they surround the Immortal. Clem holds. Sorry, Serral holds. Serral, he does hold on. Very nice defense here by Serral. He's holding. Up. As Mana gets away. Mana gets away, joins up with Clem. How many Bailings? 3. 3 Bailings. There's some storms though. He goes to the dive. He goes to the dive. Takes on every single High Templar. Nice use of the Stalkers. Mind shots on Ling Bane. The army is overstimmed. The army is overstimmed. Marines are going down. They have to kite back. Still looking quite intense here, but Mana and Clem, they should have enough. Okay, they break through the Stalkers. GG gets called, and Team Liquid, they extend their lead 4-2. Ay, ay, ay. Once again, taking the game in the 2v2. GG. Once again, Clem and Mana, they're looking much more informed, much more well-versed in 2v2. And with that, they're able to take another game off of both Serral and Reynor. GG. GG, well played. They do take that next game, and now the pressure's on. The pressure is on Team Basilisk. Now, what do they have going for them, though? Up next, we have our next set of 1v1s with both Reynor and Serral stepping up to the plate. This is where they are at their best. This is where Basilisk are at their strongest. Now, the one concern that I have, though, is that they had the benefit in their first lineups of knowing where players are being fielded, and they used Rotterdam to tank Clem. That is no longer the case. They no longer have that advantage, and as a result, the stars do align, and Clem lands on Reynor, or Reynor lands on Clem. This is where I'm going to be favoring Clem. This is where Basilisk, they need Reynor to step it up, and they need Reynor to get a win here, to get a point on the board. We'll see if he can pull it off. We'll see if he can pull it off here. It's not going to be easy. Oh boy. As we are loading into 10,000 feet. Loading into one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. With a 4-2 lead in the series so far, it is a Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. We have the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Here we go. Is this Basilisk boss versus Liquid's boss? In the previous series, kind of, it was the team captains, right? Mana versus Rotterdam. That was the team captains facing off against each other. True, true. Battle of the captains. Basilisk needs no legs. I suppose so. Not wrong. Miss L and Reynor 2v2. I know. I recommend the VODs. Oh, it looks like we had a pause, but I do recommend the VODs. If you haven't tuned in, check out our YouTube channel. We did see Reynor and Serral already playing 2 2v2s tonight. And they might play another. They might play another, depending on whether or not they can bring it back. Again, the pressure is on Reynor. The pressure is on Reynor, and he's up against the best Terran in the world. He's up against the best Terran in the world, up against the ace player of Team Liquid. Oh boy. Now, what I will say is that Reynor, typically, I would say that Reynor, he's typically has a better record and a better showing and a better style against Clem. Like Reynor, he's a very active player. He makes some very entertaining series. He often does take maps and even series off of Clem. I still favor Clem, but Reynor, he can hold his own. And what's important, this is the best of one, right? This is the best of one. Anything can happen. It can go either way. Reynor does have a chance to start to bring it back here for his team, but he needs to, right? He needs to. Like, there's no second chances here. We gotta send it back. Now, the scary thing, though, is that we're loading into 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. It is one of the more quote-unquote rush maps compared to, say, Throne of Dunes or the Old Republic or White Rabbit or some of the other TLMC maps. So this is a little bit smaller, is more aggressive. The bases are a little bit more open, and you even have the center expansion, which is more exposed to the to the other side, to the center pathway. So tanks can abuse, tanks can punish. As Reaper does pull away, and behind this, going to be going for a third CC before Starport. So economic build here by Clem, rushing into the third CC. We had an amazing game 2 days ago with Cure and, sorry, with Solar, if you recall. If not yesterday. The days are blending together. It's It was Solar versus, right, it was Solar versus Cure actually on this match, on this map. Where Solar and Cure, they mined out. they legitimately, they mined out the map. It was crazy. It was a crazy long and crazy intense ZVT. What I loved about Solar versus Cure on 10,000 feet was that it was high octane and hyper aggressive. And even though it lasted a long time, even though we got to a mined out standpoint, there was a lot of fights, a lot of engagements happening all over the place, just because this map doesn't really favor turtle heavy play. So there was just a lot of action going on the entire time. I do recommend it. Do recommend it. Solar versus Cure. It was crazy. It was crazy. And we'll see if Reynor and Clem can live up to it. So here we go. It's only broadcast on Korean websites, so most people didn't watch it yet. Yeah, I believe this is the first time it's being casted in English. I know that I think Wardy's been casting some of this, but I know that unfortunately for Wardy, he hasn't been casting too much of it because it was clashing with his tournament, the Wardy TV October event, right? Like he was running his own October event at the same time as the Chijik Crank event. So I think he's a little bit behind when it comes to these matches, but I think he does plan on covering it as well. Here we go. Here we go. So now Clem does pull away. Yo, big shout out to Jojo Power Ranger. Let's go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing to Twitch Prime for 3 months. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. The crossover we all needed. The Mighty Morphin and JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. That's what. Oh no. Not like this. For now, Clem is securing his third base, taking the triangular third. Hellion Banshee poking in to deny some creep. Oh. As this is going to be what, 3? A tumor is going to be shut down. For now, just focusing on the harassments. Still building up back at home, throwing up extra axes, getting to his own stim timing. Meanwhile, Reynor getting into his own Ling Bane. We were speaking about this earlier, but Reynor, he has been known to try to skip Banelings and go straight into Ling, into Infestor, into Infestation Pits, into Hive Tech. Not here though, not on 10,000 feet. Nice catch with the Lings though. It does come in, takes down most of those Hellions. If not all the Hellions do get cleaned up. Oh, as Clem gets a couple of extra shots off. Trades as best he can. That was what, 6 Hellions, a Reaper for 19 Lings. Not the worst trade here from Clem. Ideally, he did want to get away to be able to maintain map control. At least Reynor does shut them down. So Reynor, he will defend, taking his half of the map. Meanwhile, we do have a Burrow on the way. Getting into Burrow. Let's go. Meanwhile, Clem is not going for a 3-base all-in. He's not going for an 8-racks. Gases are being taken. Second factory is on the way. This is indicative here of a 4th CC of extra gases of a game setting up for a longer and later game towards the late game. So we're building up. Looking to macro out of this. Marines, they do try to sneak up on that 4th. So far, Reynor is keeping up. Center base is being taken. We spoke earlier, this base is going to be more vulnerable, it's going to be more exposed, and eventually Clem will be able to threaten. For now, only moving out with drops. There's that 4th command center, as I did mention. Again, Clem building up towards that longer game. He can from here expand forward towards the bases of Reynor and use his 4th base as a bit of a launch pad to start to be aggressive. Up until this point, it's only been harassment, right? Banshees, Hellions, Reapers, even these drops. Just harassing, just poking in. He's had no intention to commit. So he does pull away. Pulls back, pulls away. waiting for his fourth CC. And here he comes. Yeah, here comes Clem. The tumors do expire. Tanks are pushing forward, and he should be expanding with this push. Likewise, it also allows him to set up a planetary, so he can fall back to the planetary as well, if need be. Reynor going for a massive link bank counterattack. That means he has that much less to defend, but that's a lot of Banelings. A lot of Banelings back at home. Tanks are sieging up. Clem is going straight for the natural. Sorry, Reynor going straight for the natural. And Clem out of position. The wall should be broken. Clem is gaining ground. Does cut back against the Banelings. Pulls away in time. And does pull away. Banelings are being shut down, but Reynor, he breaks into the natural base. Mine shots going off. SCVs are going down. We're trading bases. But Reynor gets into more. Yeah, he's finding more damage here. Getting into the third. Clem is bleeding out a lot back at home. Lings a barrack. Let's go. Does Clem notice? Does he notice, Pappy? Does he think that he just killed everything? He may. He scans. Okay, he does scan. Cleans up all the Lings. And Clem did lose 10 SCVs. There's still Lings burrowed in the third base. They unburrow. They kill more workers. Run-bys continue, but this time they're reinforcements. Yeah, reinforcements. Reynor gets punished. What's also important is that Reynor, he did pull away, right? He pulled away, he saved his mineral line. Did save most of his drones. Still has 80. Still has 80 workers. Meanwhile, Clem is rotating. Picks up his army. Tanks are exposed. Nice save. And we did mention earlier, you can siege up and you can threaten that mineral line. Base can be threatened. We have Lings lurking behind the army, though. Speaking of Lings, they do hit the third. Yeah, there's nothing here. SCVs are going down. He's deep on creep. Clem getting caught out. Oh no! Yeah, he can't get away. Banelings, they crash in. Not the best connections, though. Clem maintains his army. At the same time, the third base is forfeit. 17 SCV kills. Insane damage here across the map. And Reynor's holding. Reynor is holding on. The tanks are low. And she's doing what they can. We're getting messy. Lings did kill the mineral line, but it comes down to the army size. There are 11 Banelings left. Does pick up. Forced to pick up. Pulls away. Oof. Mine shots going off. And Reynor lost his tanks. He lost his tanks. Lost most of his Widow mines as well. Down to pure marine. But he's maintaining himself on 60 workers. Likewise picks up, pulls away. Oof. As he drops into the main base, more bases are going to be falling down. Hammer expansions. Again, Clem has been so efficient with his army. Even here, dropping on top of the cliff face. Avoids the Ling Bane. And where's Reynor? He's out of position. Okay, he's distracted. He's racing on over. He's out of position here. Another base goes down. Reynor, he's being pulled apart. Dropping to the main base as well. Distracting Reynor. Down goes another hatchery. And Reynor, he's running out of bases here. He's supply blocked. Yeah, brutal supply block. Reynor, he can't spend his money. Oh no. Stuck on 144. Clem playing it safe. Oof. Brutal mine shots. Brutal mine connections. Clem does pick up. Still rallying across. Ramiri is still rallying. Reynor, he's soon getting up to a 2-base economy. Getting that center expansion. He needs a little bit more time. The mine shots. Oh my god. Oh god. Once again, the mines they connect. Back across the map. Clem, he has nothing to defend. The more SCVs are going down. We're getting messy, Pappy. Oh my god, the mines though. Jesus. The mines this game have been crazy. SCVs are still going down, but Clem is pushing into the bases. He's getting in. Yeah, he's getting to the expansions. We have some Banelings finishing up. Clem, he does catch the queens. There's a scan. Takes on every single queen. Oh. Doesn't pick up. Does not pick up in time. Bit of miscontrol there by Clem. Does miscontrol. That should not have happened. Uh-oh. Yeah, late to pick up. Leads out a lot of Marines. At the same time, though, the planetary base is still up and running. Likewise, he's still struggling SCV-wise. 37 SCVs. Oh my god. The mines, they keep connecting. Calm down. Reynor. I want to say we had like, at this point, I want to say like 6 juicy connections with Widow Mines. They've been insane. Speaking of, okay, this time does pull away. Let's go. This time pulls away. Clem making use of the terrain. Dropping in between the bases. Getting a couple of drone kills. The Liberator still repositioning, still just not allowing Reynor to mine. Okay, 4 more drones. 4 more drone kills. Clem's still rallying. He has so many medevacs. And he's getting 3-3. Yeah, 3-3's on the way. Goes to the base, takes down an expansion. Ay, ay, ay. Reynor down to 1 actual mining base, and even then it's barely standing. Reynor, he can't keep up. Not anymore. Not like this. Oh, God. Not again. What's that, 7? As Widowmine survives with 13 kills. Ah. Not the Widow Mines. That's another expansion. Does force another cancel. Oh, God, God, God. That was the same mine. 23 kills on the 1 Widow Mine. Ah, no. Yeah, back at home this time. Clem defends. Corrects his mineral line for the most part. Shuts down the Ling Bane. More bases falling. And again, Reynor is running out of steam. He's running out of steam, running out of army. Attempts us around, but these are purely Lings. No Banelings. Oh, God. The mines. The mines, they kill everything. GG gets called, and Clem, he will extend the lead even further for Team Liquid. 5-2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. The Widow Mines, pappy. They just kept connecting. They kept shutting Reynor down. Again, a very intense, very aggressive game, and so far 10,000 feet has delivered. Like, I've been really enjoying this map, whether it's with Solo versus Cure or here with Clem versus Reynor. We've had a lot of back and forth, a lot of hyper aggressive games. The opener was relatively passive, true, right? Like getting to a 3rd base. The aggression only really began when Clem took his 4th. When Clem took his 4th base, then he started ramping up the aggression, and it also worked against him because he was very rarely leaving units at home to defend. So we saw the non-stop run-bys deal quite a bit, right? Clem, it was not a clean game. He was losing a lot of SCVs back at home at his 3rd, at his natural, at his 3rd again, at his natural again. His planetary was safe at his 4th base, and his main base was safe, but his natural and 3rd base just kept getting hammered. It allowed Reynor to keep up in a way and to try to keep the game as messy as possible. When it came to the main fights, Clem was out trading, 100%. He was just out trading. Was outmaneuvering. More often than not, Reynor was having a hard time keeping up with the aggression of Clem, as we saw a lot of drops, a lot of move outs, and in multiple locations at once, and it just pulled apart the attention of Reynor. GG. And because that pulled apart attention, that's one of the reasons why we saw so many brutal mine shots, is because Reynor, he'll split when it came to his attention, when it came to dealing with those pushes. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into our next game. Oh boy, the pressure is very much so on Basilisk, as Team Liquid have a 5-2 lead. Oh boy, the pressure is on, and we are getting into our next game. Now, this is where the ace player of Basilisk step up. He does step up here. It's going to be Serral versus Cure in our next best of 1 on Andromeda. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top right hand corner here of Andromeda, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself representing Basilisk. Down, heavily down here in this series, and he has to begin that comeback soon. It is Serral. the best Zerg player in the world, the ace player for Basilisk, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Kior. Let's go as we move out with 1 and with 2 SCVs. Kior looking to cheese Serral out. Oh boy. The racks are coming, Fabi. Here we go. So it's gonna be 2 racks, a marine, a bunker rush here out of Kior. Did I say 2 racks? That is a 3rd SCV. So 3 racks here out of Kior, that much more committed. The overlord for Serral is checking the right hand side, barely not checking the proxy location though, over towards the center of the map. Barely not. We'll see if the overlord does head over or if it does come back. So eyes are on this overlord. Serral's going hatch gas pool, standard opener. Does go for a standard start. Oh, he checks. Yeah, he does check. Thankfully, does cross over towards the left-hand side, and Serral, he will confirm the Raxes. There we go, does confirm. So he will not be caught off guard. He knows. And he might even see all 3. Oh, it's gonna be close. There we go. He does see all 3. He confirms that this is even more committed. Now, against a 2-Rax Reaper, it is common to pull the boys, to disrupt, to deny the bunkers, and to shut this down. Against 3 Racks, it is much more difficult because there are extra Marines, and they can punish you and snowball out of control. So now Serral, he's at least aware that there are going to be extra Marines. It is more committed than a regular 2 Racks. And Serral responds with 2 gases into roaches. So it's going to be roaches here out of Serral. Bunkers on the way. Serral, he may just give up on his natural. True. May just give up on it. Roach Horn has been thrown down. And we do see Kior, he ignores the natural. He's going into the main. He's going into the main base. And I'm mining. Threading those workers. I mean, this is impacting the economy quite heavily here. And he should have killed not just the base, but there we go. He does force a cancel on the Lings. Cancels the Queen. Kills the natural. And it's going to be all about that Roach follow-up. As we have a handful more Lings on the way. Roach production can now begin. After he goes down. Broodlings, they don't quite get the Marine. Yeah, not quite. Now Kior pushing into the main. Does move in. Wants drones. Oh, going for the Queen instead. Lings are going to be going down. Here comes us around. Oh, yeah, drones they arrive. Roaches as well. And Serral, he will defend. He will shut this down. He will clean this up. There's potential there for Kior. And what's scary here as it's being cleaned up is that these roaches can soon counterattack once they build up. Back at him, what do we have? Nothing yet. That's a second gas geyser going to Marauder. He's committing. Okay, he's going to commit. Marauder production's underway. I mean, if Kior still retained that army, I would favor Kior, but he lost so many Marines there. That was 7 Marines going down. The Serral was brutal. Did overextend. Down to 1 SCV. So repairs are limited as well. Thankfully, Serral, he was supply blocked. Just now finishing up the Overlord. Overlord does finish. Concussor Shell is almost done. And Kior, he needs to catch these Ravagers. So what he's looking for here. If he can snipe a couple of these Ravagers, he can maybe break through. Oh, speaking of. Ravager does get low. Link speed is halfway done. Kior, he does pull some extra boys that he's here to repair. He might even get a second bunker. Because he needs the most that he can get here to shut down the breakout. Link speed is almost done. And soon Serral is going to flood out of his main. Oof. We're getting their Ling speed finishing up in 8 seconds. So far, 16 Lings, that's 6 Ravagers. 1 more Ravager on the way. And he's going for it. Oh, a little bit awkward there. Yeah, clutch ensues. Bunker does fall. Lings are flooding out, and Serral, he breaks out. Yeah, he breaks out with plenty of Lings. He breaks through the Marines, gets himself the Marauders. And Serral, he should have enough to defend here, to clean up the army, to counterattack, and there's nothing left at home. Yeah, there is nothing left. Again, this all came down to Kira getting surrounded earlier by the drones. And now Serral came to the production. Stim is done in 10 seconds. It's going to be denied. Massive Piles. Takes down Stim. And again, this should be game. GG. GG gets called. Whew, Serral, he does fight back. He does put another point on the board. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Serral, he shuts down the proxy. Again, Kira was able to gain some ground, able to get some damage, killed the natural, but he didn't really get the economic damage he was hoping for. He was denying mining, but he was not killing drones. We saw that Serral was able to lock down the Marines, get the surround off, and break out with his roaches. It was very close, very clutch, very well-timed breakout there by Serral when he initially got on top of the Marines and surrounded the army with those drones, and that led into a much more comfortable breakout. GG. GG, well played with that. Ooh, oh boy, we do have somewhat of a back and forth here. Let's catch up on our standings so far. Okay, so heavily in favor of Team Liquid. They still have a 5-3 lead, and remember, it's first to seven. So Team Liquid, they need 2 more wins. They need 2 more games, 2 more wins to claim the series and become the champions, the best team in StarCraft 2. They're almost there. They're almost there. So far, Basilisk, I mean, Serral's been doing his best. Serral, he's been claiming his wins. Reynor did get a win earlier against Mana, but it was crucial that Reynor would get his second win as well. Remember that Basilisk, they're working with a little bit of a handicap here, as they are not at their full strength. For those that maybe are tuning in a little bit late, the reason why Trigger isn't here is because, remember, what happened over the weekend? SC for All. That was a big offline event happening in America, and Trigger was traveling to America. Traveling to the Americas to compete in that tournament, so Trigger was not available here to compete. That's why Roddy has been stepping in. Yo, it'd be crazy if Roddy steps up and if he's able to help bring it back for Basilisk. That'd be like that. That'll be a story, papi. Oh my god. But again, the pressure is on. With that, we're getting ready for the final third of the broadcast of this series. With this final game wrapping up, that means that we do have a roster refresh. We have refreshed our roster. That means that we are getting ready for another lineup of players. Quickly scrolling down here. Bam. As you can see, these are the final maps. So up next is going to be Gem Garden. That's going to be a 2v2. We can assume it's going to be Serral and Reynor, right? It's going to be Serral and Reynor. We can assume it's going to be Serral and Reynor alongside Clem and Mana for the 2v2s. The 2v2 teams don't really mix it up too much. They don't really mix things up too much. When it comes to the other maps, though, we have Tourmaline, we have Mothership, Dreams and Scars, and the potential ace match on the Old Republic. Oh boy, Mothership is going to be a bit of a larger map here. I'm going to be favoring whether it's Serral or Reynor up against Clem or Mana. I do think that Mothership is a better Zerg map for them, so I do think they're going to have the advantage. Likewise, Tourmaline does favor aggressive all-ins. Likewise, I do feel like more aggressive Zerg play can also be quite successful on Tourmaline. Dream and Scars is going to be more intense. We'll see. We'll see how our players line up. We'll see who we field on what map as well. I'll be honest, because Basilisk need to win every game moving forward, basically, or they can't afford 2 losses. It might be wise to field Rotterdam in Dreams and Scars to give Serral and Reynor the best chance they have to actually put some points on the board and start to bring things back. But we'll see. It's up to Roddy, right? It's up to Roddy. He is the captain. He'll be setting up the lineups. Likewise, up to Mana as well, as Mana is also the team captain for Team Liquid, also fielding those lineups as well. So for now, we're going to be going on the final very short break. When we come back, we will have the final lineups revealed for the final set of games. See you soon. See you soon after the break. Hup. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals here of the Crank Gather Season 2 Team League Invitational. It's been an intense season. It's been an intense league so far. For those that maybe missed out on some previous days, I do recommend the VODs. All the VODs are over on YouTube, of course, are under the live tab, as we've been covering the event the entire week, of course, and it's been a 6-team invitational. We've had Team Vitality, Team Falcons, Team Liquid, Basilisk, Streamer Zone, and Shopify Rebellion. We've had 6 of the best teams in StarCraft 2 facing off time and time again throughout the preliminary stage, throughout the group stage, into the playoffs as well. And we've reached our top 2 teams, Basilisk and Team Liquid, and we're here to see how the story ends. As so far, Team Liquid, they up heavily in the series 5-3, and we'll see if Basilisk can start to bring it back. Let us head on over here to the lineups. Mana and Roddy, they have been deliberating amongst themselves how to bring this all together, who to field on what map, and it all begins with the 2v2. Let's go. As the lineups, we have them revealed, and no surprises here. Oh, actually, there is a bit of a surprise. So first things first, we have our 2v2, Serral and Mana up against Clem. Sorry, Serral and Reynor up against Clem and Mana, my apologies. We have our typical duos here, but Basilisk have been struggling. You know, as we mentioned before, Reynor, he's not very well versed in 2v2, and they've been trying to work together here. Teamwork, maybe not the strongest suit between Serral and Reynor. You know, if you've been watching their Portal 2 playthrough on YouTube, you know, papi, it's papi. And as you can see, there is a difference. Reynor, he is picking Zerg, and no longer is he picking Protoss, so it's going to be a double Zerg duo. Now, typically mirrored duos in 2v2 are considered to be weaker just because they're not able to kind of make up for their other teammates' kind of like weaknesses and able to really cover themselves in the early game and the mid game, unlike how like Hellions gain map control or Oracles can gain map control as well. So curious to see if they have a plan in mind. Are we just going to like 12 pool drone pool? Are we just like I'm curious what the plan is here from Serral and Reynor, but clearly Reynor, he's had enough Protoss, he wants to embrace his Zerg, and I'm curious to see if they can finally bring it back and win one of these 2v2 games. Oh boy, so best of luck to Serral and Reynor initially, as they are going to be fielded together as a duo. Meanwhile, they're going to be up against Clem and Mana. Meanwhile, after that, we have Serral up against Serral versus Clem on Tourmaline. Oh my god, it's happening. They finally do hit each other. The 2 ace players for Team Liquid and Basilisk, they're going to be playing on Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a smaller map, is a more aggressive map as well. And we'll get into that, of course. We'll get into that. There's a lot of potential, I will say, for Serral to try to end the game earlier. I can say the same thing for Clem, though, when it comes to 8 Raxes. We'll get to Tourmaline. Then we have Rotterdam on Mothership. Bold move. I assume that they were going to be fielding Rotterdam at the end of the broadcast, at the end of the matches, to give Serral and Reynor the best chances to actually bring it together and put some points on the board. But alas, they're going to be fielding Rotterdam on Mothership instead. Reynor avoiding Mothership, and it's going to be Rotterdam versus Cure and Reynor versus Mana. Oh boy, and if we can get to the ace match, if we can get to the Old Republic, I mean, that's what it's going to be. The ace match will be on the Old Republic as well. Oh boy, okay, the pressure is on. Again, Team Liquid, they need 2 wins. They need 2 wins to claim it all here, and it all begins with the 2v2s. As we quickly just set up the lineups. Here we go. It is going to be Serral and Reynor. Reynor's up against Mana later on, and Rotterdam is up against Cure. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. As we are loading into Gem Garden. Just setting up the stream tile, and here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner here of Gem Garden for the first time. I mean, we've seen them before, but now for the first time, rocking their 2 main Zerg races. We have the Orange and Zerg duo. We have Serral and Reynor for Basilisk. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the French Terran, we have the Polish Protoss, we have for Team Liquid, Clem and Mana. Let's go. Let us go. We have our 2v2. We are back. And again, Reynor and Serral, they've been struggling to work together. They've been struggling in the 2v2 matchup. We'll see if they can bring it back and bring it home here with the ZVZ duo with the double Zerg. Oh boy. Let's go. For now, hatch first. We are going for our initial hatch first openers. Likewise, across the map, we do have Mana and Clem going for standard openers themselves. If you remember, in their last matchup, we saw that they were hyper aggressive. Clem went 3 racks Reaper and Mana went 2 gate, but I believe the plan this time is to be more economic. I believe. Oh, never mind. The racks is going to be thrown down, so just like last time, 1 racks on the high ground, 1 racks on the low ground, which means a 2 gate opener. We're going back to what works, back to aggression. 2 gate into Mass Adept. Likewise, 2 racks Reaper out of Clem. We'll see if he throws down a 3rd racks as well. We do have a more aggressive start here from Team Liquid. Meanwhile, from Team Basilisk, obviously no drone scouting, true. So drone scouting is not really a thing, so no drone scouting. They're going to rely on their overlords to scout instead, which means it's going to be more difficult to confirm what's going on as we commit into a 3rd rack. So I'm getting deja vu. 3 ranks Reaper. Now, last time, Reynor was able to probe scout, and Reynor was pinging, if you remember who was pinging. He was letting Serral know what the build was and that they were up against a more aggressive all-in. This time, they wouldn't have as much information to work with. As the probe scout at Mana confirms that the hatch first. Oh, Reynor's going gasless. So gasless opener out of Reynor, which means late link speed, late gas. He's going to have to rely on purely queen and low link defense, or slow link defense, I meant to say. Meanwhile, standard hatch gas pull out of Serral. Serral, he will have eventually link speed. Now, with a delayed link speed timing, that means that these Reapers that are going to be amassing for Clem have a longer kind of lifespan. It means that there's going to be more time that they have for themselves here to wreak havoc. Reaper does poke in. It's going to be up to the Queens to zone. So far, so good. Queens, they do zone away the Reaper. Reapers are building up. Adepts as well. And we'll see how Reynor and Serral can work together to defend. Link speed is on the way for Serral. As we mentioned before, Reynor is cutting corners. Reapers, they don't quite find a way in. Not yet. Other players not allowed to be on voice with each other. They are in voice. The players are in voice with each other. As Reapers are going for the dive. Oh, they barely don't get the Queen. Yeah, the Queen does survive. 1 Reaper goes down. Yeah, 1 Reaper does fall. Adepts take him into the shade, which means that this Adept will fall as well. And they're losing a lot of momentum. Yeah, Clem and Mana, they're losing a lot of momentum here. Losing a Reaper, losing one of the Adepts as well. Reapers, they try to go for the dive, but so far so good. Serral and Reynor do defend. Behind this, we do have a Roach Warren, so Roach Warren for Reynor. Likewise, still... Oh, very fast lair. Are we going into Spire play? 2-base Muta out of Serral. Okay. Bold move. Did finish link speed. We are setting up. Behind this, Glaive at follow-up here. Likewise, Reapers have been amassing from the side of Clem. Delayed CC out of Clem as well. So... if we fail to get damage done, and Roaches are building up, by the way. As Roaches build up, there's going to be a stronger defense for Reynor and Serral. They're staying on 2 bases. The lair is done. A Spire is now on the way for Serral, as we did mention. And there's no anti-air. Reapers don't shoot up. Adepts don't shoot up. Mutas can end the game. Nice round. Catches a Reaper. And this is looking dire for Team Liquid. Yeah, Team Liquid, they need to find damage soon, but they have to wait for the upgrade. They have to wait for Glaives. They're waiting for Glaives. Clem is checking for 3rd bases. He sees there is no expansion. Something is wrong. Like, where's all that money being spent? They still don't know. They still do not know. Yeah, Stim is on the way. +1 attack as well. Stargate follow-up here by Mana. But again, it's a late Stargate. Delayed tech. Roaches are ready. Again, it's basically Reynor's defending with Roaches, and Serral, he's being cheeky, going into the Mutas. Can he get there? Ninja base. Serral does expand. Does try to. Reynor going for a more standard expansion. You can see Clem and Mana, they're rotating to 9 bases. There is no expansion. They don't find Serral. They don't find his hatchery. That's triple Stargate. Oh my god. Pokes in, confirms Reynor is expanding. Mutas are on the way. And again, there's a lot of potential here for Team Basilisk. They can do this. They can bring it back in the 2v2 of all maps. Of all matchups. when notoriously they have been weaker. Here we go, mute as they move out. Now, the scary thing here is that Mana is going at triple Stargates mass Phoenix production. So he's building up a lot of Phoenixes. A lot of Phoenixes, papi. And it makes sense. Basically, they see the roaches of Reynor, and they see that Serral doesn't have anything. Like, Serral has Lings, but is it Ling Hydra, Ling Bane? Like, the gas isn't being spent anywhere, so they're assuming it's going to be Muta play. Mutas that have arrived, no Tard in the main. And Clem is exposed, SCVs are going down. 2 SCV kills so far. Getting him to 3. Oh. But Phoenixes, they hold their own. And that's a lot of mutas going down. That's going to be 1, 2, soon to be 3, 4. Losing all the mutas, actually. Yeah, Serral, he will lose control of his mutas. Will lose every single one. But now it's Reynor. Now it's time for Reynor to shine. Reynor's pushing in. Links to reinforce. Will force a cancel. Mana and Clem, they're stuck on 2 bases. Remember, their expansions were delayed as well. Reynor does have a terrifying army. Yeah, they're out of position. Clem, he moves out. As he moves out, Reynor's moving in. And he can deny combat shields. Yeah, nice denial. Combat shields denied. Clem, he races back home again, out of position. Turns back around. Phoenixes, it takes a long time to take down those roaches. Mutas, they hit the natural. Oh, nice catch out of Clem though. The roaches get caught. Yeah, massive pickoffs here. As that's a lot of roaches going down. At the same time, Mutas, they get what looks like 5 SCV kills here at the natural. But these are expensive trades here for Serral, losing a lot of mutas. So far, losing 12 mutas. Is going down. More Phoenixes are amassing. Clem is pushing towards the south side. And Phoenix to deny some mining. They get a couple drones. Oh no! Yeah, 1 Phoenix left behind. Marines, they rotate. There are Links to defend, but only Zerglings. And not the best use of energy. No. But Serral, he will lose his 3rd. A nice catch on the mineral line. Mineral line goes down as well. Without Banelings, without any splash damage here, Marines are a big problem. The mass Marine, it might just be too much. Oh, we have Professors. Okay, we have Fungals. Do they land? Massive Fungal. Yeah, Marines get caught out. 2nd Fungal as well. Yeah, massive connections. And with the help of the Fungals, Reynor, he will hold on. The Roaches defend, and Clem, he has to back the hell off. Reynor, he's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out with Roach Ravager. Reynor, he's like, finally I can play Zerg. He's like, let's go, Mike, let's go. Again, Reynor's moving in. Corruptors are here to support. Again, Serral playing more of a supportive role with those Corruptors. And Reynor's pushing in. Reynor's pushing in. Going for the Nexus. Nexus should go down. And again, it's just a numbers game at this point. Clem and Mana, they've just been outscaled. They do not have enough. There's not enough supply. Biles are connecting as well. Ay, ay, ay. And as they're trading, as they're distracting, Lings, they flood into the mineral line. Serral, he gets in. Gets into the bases. SCV is going to be going down. SCVs get picked up. And Reynor, he can just rally. He can soon just start to rally across. Bleeding out some of those roaches, so these are going to be some expensive losses for him. The Professors have arrived. Can he land another Fungal? Can he do it? He can! Fungal lands. Connects with everything. Catching out the Phoenixes, catching out the Marines. And GG gets called. The comeback has begun. Reynor and Serral, they do fight back in the 2v2. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very necessary win here for Serral and Reynor. And again, they did work quite well together. I will say that the mutas were lackluster, for sure. The mutas, they didn't really do much for themselves. It was, I would say, inefficient from Serral. I guess did kind of buy a little bit of breathing room, but for the most part, it was Reynor, right? The Roaches did a great job at defending early on, at shutting down the aggression, allowing Serral to even get into muta play, and then was eventually able to snowball out of control, move that across the map, and it was an army that was just not able to be dealt with. Unfortunately, Clem and Mana, they were late to take a third base, never had a fourth either. Like, their own economies were stifled because of how aggressive they were initially. GG. GG, well played. And with that, another point here for Basilisk. A very important point as well. One more game and they can tie things up. Now, oh boy, this is gonna get crazy. Who's up next? You saw it earlier in the lineups. It is going to be Serral versus Clem on Tourmaline. The ace players. The ace players are going to be facing off. The best Zerg in the world, the best Terran in the world are going to be facing off on Tourmaline in a best of one. Now, when it comes to these two facing off, I do typically favor Clem. I mean, you know, Clem did actually recently defeat Serral in Masters of the Game in the recent offline event that did happen in France. But what I will say, it is a best of one, and both Serral and Clem often go back and forth, right? Even if I say that Clem is favored, it's only slightly, and they do often trade, they do often take games. In a best of one, anything can and will happen, and I will say that the map is going to be a big influencing factor as well. We'll get into the map. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponents, we have the Finnish Zerg player, the red Zerg for Team Basilisk. It is Serral. Here we go, ace versus ace. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. Sometimes you just say, look here and ping in place while trying to describe it. Yes, yes. It is faster at times to just ping something to kind of give the information that that is needed. For now, hatch gas pool, we do have our standard opener out of Serral. Likewise, Clem going for a Rax expand, no setup for 2 Rax Reapers, and welcome to Tourmaline. Now, Tourmaline is an interesting map. I would say it's a map that does favor aggression. It is a little bit on the larger side of things, that is true, but the rush distance by ground is very direct, referring to the rush distance or the pathway from this natural that the SCV is going on to the natural all the way over towards the natural base of Serral. As you can see here, there's no side blockers, there's no ramps, there's no high ground or low ground, there's no points of elevation. It's just one direct path from natural to natural, so it can be quite difficult to actually stop an army, to slow it down, to engage ahead of time, and to stop a push. That's why I did mention that in reference to 3 base all-ins and 3 base aggression can hit very, very hard on Tourmaline. Not just that, it's a very wide entrance into the natural and into the third. Very wide entrance, can be very difficult to engage into here. Likewise, if you look at the third base, also a very wide entrance into the third as well. There's no high ground advantage, there's no ramp advantage either, there's no choke point, and this can even be opened up even further by knocking down these rocks. So again, this can be massive. So again, the natural and the third base are much more vulnerable, much more exposed, and we have seen a lot of successful aggression on Tourmaline as a result. Now, when it comes to aggression, what could we see? Now, Serral, he's very fond of playing Roaches in ZVT, especially on more aggressive maps. We did see Roaches earlier out of Serral in his first game against Cure, if you recall. So we're leaning more towards Roach play out of Serral. Meanwhile, from the side of Clem, we'll see if he's tempted to go into an ARAX. Now, ARAXs, they're a little bit contentious at the moment. So they were very meta earlier this year, but with the recent change to the Baneling, it does mean that Ling Bane is more viable. It means that ARAXs are not as terrifying as they once were. So we'll see if our players do drone, saturate, and build up into a standard game instead. For now, 3cc into starport play out of Clem. Everything's looking normal. Tech Lab is on the way, most likely into Adolescent, most likely into Hellion Banshee. As Reaper does dip in. Just poking, just prodding. Banshee production has begun. Ling does get a scout off though. Yeah, getting into the main. Barely couldn't see it. With that scout, the Ling does confirm the 111, does confirm the starport on the tech lab. So Serral is aware. Is where that Banshee play. Rotates the queens, and so far is keeping up. We should soon be seeing our tech of choice, whether it's going to be lair first, Evo chambers first, or tech first, and we have the answer, lair. So a little bit greedy here by Clem, rushing into lair. This does mean that his upgrade is going to be more delayed, and likewise no defensive banelings early on, just in case. So Serral, he is cutting some corners. I say cutting corners at playing standard. Playing standard here. It'd be safe to go for like an early Baneling S. It'd be greedy to go into double Evo chamber. So we're kind of just settling in. Oh. Okay. I don't know if you noticed that. I started an Evo chamber for a moment. Sorry, he started a burrow for a moment there, but does cancel. Does cancel. Takes his gases and getting into his own Evo chambers. Okay. Just one Evo chamber though. Interesting. With 2 gases being taken, with 1 Evo chamber on the way, are we tempted to go into more gases and into a Spire? Are we tempted? +1 Carapace is on the way. Another gas is being taken. And more gases! This has to be Muta play. This has to be a Spire. And this feels so risky against Clem of all players. No shot. Banshees dip in. Slaps the queen. Queen does go down, waiting for the Spire. Show us what you got. Getting got 6 gases. Going, not for Spire. Hydra then. Okay. Does go for the other tech structure. This still feels a little bit greedy here. We're basically rushing Ling into Hydra. We're delaying the Baneliness and delaying Baneling speed, which sounds crazy to me. This is almost Miyamika-esque. If you remember, Miyamika, he was very fond of these Hydra timings. Hellions are going straight for the middle line. Does block just in time. Ling's fought in and will delay. Yeah, will delay, will deter, will surround. Serral holds. Whew, that was almost disastrous, but Serral, he does hold on. Again, we have +1 range on the way, so we're focusing on Hydra upgrades completely, and this is going to be a very strong timing, fixated and focusing on that on mass Hydra. So Lings to support, mainly Hydras for DPS. And if Clem doesn't realize what's going on, he might get caught out here. Against a heavy Hydra composition, you do need tanks. You need to be more defensive with a heavy tank count. Infestation bits on the way, taking up into Hive, getting ready for Vipers, getting ready for potentially even Lurkers as well. So an interesting style here out of Serral. We'll see if we can get away with it. Clem is moving out. Was this best of 9 with revives? No, this is best of 13. No revives. Best of 13. With roster refreshes. So first team to 7. If it isn't clear, sorry, because might be tuning in for the first time. It's a team league match. Best of 13. That's the only reason why, if you see, it says best of 1 in between Clem and Serral, because I don't know how to make it a best of 13. I don't think you can. Ling run by Zenaid. Clem is pushing in. Hive is on the way for Serral. So is a Lurker then. He has to buy a little bit more time. Ooh, that's going to be a lot of Hydras going down. There'll be 3 Hydras getting picked up. And Serral, he's rallying. Sorry, Clem. Clem is rallying. So we're going to try to collapse in. Remember, he has no Banelings. Here come the Fungals. Yeah, Festus are coming in. The dog land the Fungal. But Marines, they tank it. Yeah, they tank the Fungal. They stim on forward. Where are the Lings? Oh my god. The Hydras are barely holding their own. There's 1 tank left. And so he's holding on. He's barely holding on. He's trying to buy time for his lurker den. He needs his lurkers. Without them, he is so exposed here. He's so vulnerable. Here comes the next wave. Here comes more tanks. Yeah, more tanks are coming in, and it's going to be a tough hold for Serral. Again, this is such a greedy style to play with. You're so vulnerable for so long until your lurkers pop out. You're so heavily reliant on those investors. Speaking of, investors trying to come in. Tanks, they zone away the ground army. As we mentioned before, tanks are ideal against mass Hydra compositions. And tanks, they shell away at the Hydras. Oof. Yeah, most of the Hydras do fall. Again, there's no link support. And it's just a brutal trade here. Serral falls behind in supply. Clem is still rallying. He's still got 2 tanks left over. And Clem has done it. Clem has done it. He has broken the back of Serral. Lurker Den is done, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Not here. Does force some friendly fire. Okay. Does force a bit of friendly fire. Clemmy's so close to breaking Serral. He's still rallying. Here come the lurkers. The first two lurkers of the game. Serral, he's almost there. Fungal grazed the army, but not ideal. I believe that was the final fungal. Tanks are moving in. Links are cleaned up. Oh, we have more links trickling in though. 2 lurkers have arrived. Serral, can he hold? Gets the tanks. Throw tanks go down. Serral, he barely holds on. The lurkers have arrived. And Clem backs off. Clem, he backs off. He retreats, getting sensor towers up and running, getting his 4th base, securing it. And the game will continue. Whew, okay. That was a very intense hold here, and it was barely a hold for Serral. Just barely. Again, bleeding out and losing. How many? 43 Hydras. Again, efficiency heavily in favor of Clem. And what is scary here is the economy. Clem has a superior economy. Clem will be the first to max out. So Clem, he has a more efficient army. He's building up a greater army as well with a better economy. Serral is struggling. Now, if Serral can buy time to hit critical mass of lurkers to get into Viper tech as well, then sure, then he can hold his own. But until then, he's still struggling, and ghost production has begun. Building up those ghosts. Hello, Marines. They shouldn't be stuck. Maybe just a little bit concerned about Nidus worms. True. Speaking of, yeah, turrets are on the way. Sensor towers as well. So Clem is a little bit paranoid about Niduses. Makes sense. So ready for the Nidus worms. I mean, we can see there's no Nidus worm, but so it's just fully hunkering down here with all these sensor towers, missile turrets. Oh. On hold position. Let's go. The hold position lunkers. We don't want to waste them on the drop. We don't want to waste them. So he's waiting for the main army to come in. Cheeky moves out of Serral. There's potential, Pappy. As long as Clem doesn't scan. No, he's getting a turret. No. Turret's on the way as he's slowly encroaching forward. Lurkers are about to be revealed. Oh. So he will 5-foot control. Denies the turret. Let's go. Does deny. Baits the army in. Okay. Baits him in. We just see Clem, he does pre-split. Nidus on the right hand side. Clem, he doesn't push forward like he doesn't push forward yet. Up, up. That's it though. Ideally, we want to line up with the fight, right? We want to line it up. Jesus. Oh, the army's clumped. Now would be the time to go in. Now is the time. He's in position, Pappy. Let's go. There's Nidus. He's going for it. Yeah, he goes for it. There we go. It does activate. You have massive connections. Marines go down. Lings, they flood in. He's going for the dive. Going for the ghost. Doesn't quite catch them. Yeah, barely not, but still a nice trade here from Serral. He will lose his lurkers. One does barely get away. More lurkers moving in. Alright, getting into the mineral line. Clammy spread thin. Whew, all right, what did he lose? Only one ghost. I did notice here. I did notice a lot of those lurker shots went off on the ghosts, and the ghost did survive. Only one ghost went down. The ghosts were low, as you can see. They got very low, but they did survive. That could have been so much worse for Clem. Ghosts that might be light tagged, but they're tanky boys. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm here setting up more Nidus Worms. Clem, he has secured his 5th base. True. He's on a 5-base economy. On a 5-base setup. Nidus on the right-hand side. I mean, Clem, he does have the more ideal composition here. There's, what, 2 Vipers, only 1 Infestor. Limited spellcasters here for Serral. Same time trying to close the distraction. Lurkers, they don't find a way in. They do not get in. But hey, I'm impressed that Serral survived this long, right? Like, Serral, he was almost dead. He almost died holding on to his 4th base. That was almost game. He has brought it back. The upgrades, of course, are less than ideal for Serral. He's still building up on that just because of his early commitment into Hydras and early commitment into range upgrades. So he's still getting there. Likewise, Nidus does finish. Does finish up. Snipes are coming in. Ooh, and that's going to be a lot of lurkers falling. Yeah, 1 lurker gets away. Got the trades there for the Terran. Oh, that must have back off. We'll lose the tank. We'll lose both. Both tanks going down. Clem does kite back. So once again, boiling into the mineral lines. Tanks are a little bit far back here from the base. Does snipe the center expansion, not bad. Center base goes down. Thankfully, we have more infestors on the way. We need those fungals. Does need those fungal growths. Meanwhile, there's no Spire, so there's no setup for Serral to tech up in towards Broodlords. So that is currently not an option. He's stuck instead with a ground-based army. And likewise, he's still working on +3. Now, what's scary is that Clem, he should soon be working towards mass lib. Soon. Tanks are moving in. Sorry, Leans are moving in. They get on top of the 2 of the tanks. Not bad. 2 tanks go down. At the same time, we do see Serral pushing towards left-hand side as well. Clem is being spread thin. Now, we spoke about mass lib earlier. Here they come. Liberator production has begun. So Clem is perfecting his army. Ideally, you want Bio, Ghost, Tank, Lib. I think that is your ideal. Or really just Ghost, Tank, Lib. So Clem, he's almost there. I believe he's still lacking the upgrade. Yeah, he does not have limited range. Does not have advanced ballistics. Yo, nuke is on the way. Let's go. Getting into nukes. Serral is creep spread. I mean, again, because of how aggressive and assertive Clem was at the start of the game, there's barely any creep. If you remember, Serral, he lost most of his queens. Serral, he only has 3 queens. Oh, so yeah, he has no spare injects. Sorry, no spare energy for creep. Only 3 queens. That's not the big downside from the early game. Nice EMPs. EMPs do connect. 1 Viper goes down. No blinding clouds. And Clem does take this fight. Banelings, they roll into tank fire. Banelings, they get punished. They kill 1 CC, but that was a much better trade for Clem. As Serral tries to break the wall that is Clem right now. And Clem, he doesn't budge. Changelings making their way into the main. Going for the Nidus Worms. Oh. Clem almost caught out. Here comes the Nidus. Intercept main base. Clemmy pulls away. He notices. At the same time, Serral rotating towards top left. There are a couple of tanks in position, but there's no support for the tanks. They're exposed. And they should go down. Okay, we'll lose 1, 2, 3 tanks. Nice pick-offs here by Serral. Bailey's to get into the mineral line, and the space will fall. Massive connections here. Takes down the planetary. Again, tanks on their own. I mean, they're just likewise so vulnerable. They need support. 18 SCV kills. And now Clem can counterattack. Okay, there are 16 Bailings on the way. So we're going to try to engage. Oof, snipes on the Hydras. Some base goes down. Drones as well. And then a training, right? 1 planetary for a hatchery. Lings, they get another tank. Once again, the tanks are on their own. Gets 1, 2, 3 tank kill. 4. Oh, God. Serral trying to engage. Trying to catch Clem distracted. I believe that was 3 tanks going down. Oh. Gets another. Yeah, 7 in total. Meanwhile, Clemmy spots these bases, and again, the bases, they have no creep at all. Like, there's limited vision here. Wouldn't take much to bring them down. A set of bases under fire. Losing more drones. Lurkers are morphing in. Now we have the Greater Spire on the way, but again, that is late. It's the late Greater Spire, late tech. As whenever Clem pushes, he just gets bases. Just takes down hatcheries left and right. This one does finish. And Clem, now that he's aware of these expansions, he can go for some drop play. Here we go. Doesn't take much. He's clearing a path. Again, these bases, they're on their own. There's nothing here. No. He's stepping in. And he will get a mineral line. Oh, going for the hatchery? Oh. Could have gone for the drones as well. Meanwhile, at the same time, Lurkers, they will go for the planetary as well. They try to. Ghost, they zone away. The Ghosts defend, and the Marines, they attack. But they don't get the mineral line. There was potential. There was potential there, but looks like they were just queued up to attack the building. It's a lot of liberation. Jesus. And this is brutal. So this expansion from Clem is important because it isn't just a base, it's also allowing Clem to push forward into bottom right and bottom left, right? These 2 bases are going to be the next target here for Clem. And he can naturally defend his fresh base while attacking at the same time. Oof. More snipes going off. How many Liberators? 12! 12 Liberators. Serral does rotate over. This base here is more vulnerable. Yeah, Clemmy's on the right-hand side. Serral, he avoids the main army. Going right down the center instead. Let's go. Clem here responds. Clem responds. He will lose these bases. Massive alien connections. Aliens do connect. Ghosts are going down. And so he does get 11 more CVs and a tank. At the same time, Clem, he does get the expansion. Snipes, they pop up. Oof. Takes down the Nidus. Now, so he at least still has that center base, that center bottom base. Leans to threaten. Serral taking top left himself. Taking both corner expansions. Which is nice, but can he maintain them? Can he hold on? Nice abductions. Gets 3. 3 Liberators go down. Oh, Ooh, as Lings, they do get one tank. One tank falls. Once again, Clem's intention here is bottom right. Now, what's scary is that this base is still relatively fresh. Like, there's been some mining going on, but not too much. And what's scary is that if Serral will lose control of this expansion, Clem will take it himself. He'll take it himself. As again, he's just expanding with his army on the right-hand side. Same time, Serral going for his own counterattack. And he should get the planetary. Ah, never mind. There he goes, they respond. The planetary should go down to the banelings. Snipes on the Vipers. Oof. Does catch both Vipers. Nice fungal. Phone connects, catching out the Ghost. Ghost getting caught. It's a rough trade here for Clem. And he will hold on, but he will lose a mineral line or half a mineral line. Lose part of his Ghost. But Clem, he took down bottom right, and now he's going top left. Oh no, this is the most important base for Serral. Remember, he's mining out. He's mining out towards the bottom side. He's mining out throughout the center. Oh, Ghost getting caught. Ah, never mind. Ghost, they pull away. Serral, he has to fight for this. Ah, he has to fight without spellcasters. Okay, Infestor coming in. Fungal does graze the army. Not bad. Gets a couple of Ghosts. Couple of Ghosts get caught out. Clem has to pull out, but jeez, he has a brutal siege line here. Serral can't chase, and he will lose the expansion. He will lose the hatchery. The Infestor does not escape. And Serral, he's lost both corner expansions. Like, this is now his mining, his mining base here, the center expansion, center hatchery. And even then, he's mining out. Down to 5 patches. And this is a battle of attrition at this point. If Serral cannot take either top left or bottom right, he will starve out. 100%. Like, he'll just run out of money. He will run out. He needs one of those bases. As you can see, Serral can't even max. Like, he can't even afford it. He can't afford to max out. Clem, he's just been too efficient. Serral, he never really had the opportunity to switch into, like, Broodlord Infestor or anything else that's any other kind of more spellcaster-based army. Ling Bane rolling in. Does get a couple of Ghosts. Oh, good. Yeah, but not enough. GG gets caught. Yeah, he runs out of steam. Serral is broke, and Clem, he will take another game, and now we're on match point. Team Liquid are 1 game away from becoming our champions. GG, well played. Again, it was a brutal start for Serral, winding it back. A big reason as to why Clem, I would say, was a lot more comfortable in the longer and later game is because Serral had a really rough early to mid game. Winding it back, remember, Serral didn't play standard. He did not play standard. What did he do? He went into 6 gases early on. He skipped banelings. He skipped +1 melee. He went into range upgrades into a heavy Hydra composition. If you recall, the goal there was to build up into a heavy Hydra count and to commit to an attack across the map to try to break Clem early. But Serral was stuck on the back foot defending, and it was a really expensive defense. If you remember, he almost died at his 4th. He straight up almost died because he was just trading so inefficiently, losing all of his Hydras that he was building up, right? He lost all his Hydras defending his 3rd base, sorry, defending his 4th. Wait, what's it, his 3rd. Defending his 3rd base on the right hand side, he lost so many Hydras at his 3rd, and because of that, he barely survived with his lurkers. But again, he had lost so much in that defense. Likewise, he had 0 map control. He lost all of his queens there as well. We tried to emphasize that one of the reasons why there was 0 creep on the right hand side is because he lost most of his queens early on in the defense, and he never had the opportunity to rebuild them, so he had no map control either. He was still able to hold his own, but for the most part, Clem was in control of that game. He was, for the most part, able to dictate the pace of that mid to late game. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, we're getting into our next game here. Oh boy. The pressure is on. The pressure's on who? The pressure is on the captain himself. I'm ready for something crazy, Papi. We need like a miracle win here, because who's up next? Oh my Roddy. let's go, Bobby. Let's go. This is over best of 13. Best of 13 is first to 7. Remember, best of 13 is first to 7 wins. Oh boy. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Oh boy, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the captain for Basilisk. Let's go, hailing from the Netherlands. It is Rotterdam. This is it, papi. This is it. we gotta bring it back. Now this is when this is when Rotterdam reveals that he's been having some like custom games with like Hero or with Max Packs, even like some customs. He's been cooking up the entire night. He stayed up cooking up a build, cooking up some cheese, something special here for Cure. We're gonna need something special because oh god, because Cure is the heavy favorite. He's the heavy favorite coming into this match. Oh boy, let's go. Let us go. So just catching up with the chat. Catching up. No, it's just responding. What was going on? Is it healthy to play 12 games in a row? I see. Again, it's a team league match. And yo, if you're saying is it healthy to play 12 games in a row, Pappy, we've had a couple of best of 69s in the history of StarCraft. A couple of them. Who was the first? I'm thinking it was God, was it Snoot and Bunny? Like not Korean Bunny, but the Danish Bunny. I remember TLO was a part of a best of 69 as well. There's been like 2 or 3 best of 69s in the history of StarCraft. Crazy long matches. I want to say one of them was Snoot versus Bunny, like the TL show match. But I could be like blending a couple of other 69s together. Oh no. Meanwhile, we are going to be settling in. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of Rotterdam. I guess no surprises here. Like he's known for his Stargate play, known for his Phoenixes. Before I get ahead of myself, as Roddy does moving with the probe, welcome one and all to Mothership. Mothership is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top right, bottom side, or top left as well. Our players are scouting each other. Cure, of course, has found Roddy, does head towards the main, and it's going to be on Roddy to keep up with the Reaper harassment as we're going into Reaper Hellion from the side of Cure. Does go for the middle line, gets 1 probe so far, gets 1, gets 2, not bad. Not a bad start here for Cure. Gets 2 probes, pulls away. Best of what? Best of 69? Yeah, there's been a couple of best of 69s, like in the history of StarCraft. There's been a couple of them. Just crazy long series. Crazy long show matches. Oof. As Hellion gets shut down. 7, this is getting out of hand, by the way. 7 probes. 7 probe kills here. Ay. Reapers, they do break in. Once again, the shield battery is not done, and we're losing too much, Pappy. This is brutal here, as we're going to be losing up to 9 probes. No. Someone stop him. Cure, calm down, Pappy. Let him play. Let him play. 10 probe kills. With that, Cure, he has a nice lead here early on. Behind it, going for his own 3-1-1 setup here. Sorry, his own 2-1-1 setup. Building up, getting ready for his eventual move out. Oh boy. Now, with Phoenixes amassing, this can deter drop play at least. True. Phoenixes, they will gain some map control. Rotterdam, he's building up, he's getting into a Twilight Council. He doesn't really have much to work with here. He's got his 1 gate, his lacking production due to lack of economy. Likewise, late 3rd base for Rotterdam as well. It has been a bit of a shaky start. Now, I'm concerned about this move because, as we mentioned, Rotterdam can warp in 1 unit at a time. He's got 1 gate. He's got 1 gateway and Mass Phoenix. Let's go. What do we have to work with here? Okay, so it's going to be... I mean, this is still a bit of a disjointed attack from Cure. He's got a Viking. He's got a Cyclone, a couple Marines. Like, it's a bit of a kitchen sink kind of push here from Cure. I'm sure he's like, you know what? I wonder what this gets done. I wonder... let's just see. There we go. Dust Bolt all the Phoenixes. So far, Rotterdam, he does hold. And we should be waiting for Stim. Like, we should wait for the Stim timing. Stim is on the way. Yep, Curie backs off. He backs off. He pulls back. He's like, oh, okay, you have some units. I'm going to pull back. I'm going to let you do you. Let's just saturate. Rotterdam is going to charge as a follow-up. So, Gateway Explosion into charge. So, charge out Phoenixes. Again, the third base is very late here for Rotterdam because of his delayed economy, because of all the worker kills. Bearing in mind that the Protoss player ideally wants to be upper base against a Terran. And right now we're equivalent when it comes to bases. That's why Cure, he's going to be able to build up a greater army. Phoenix gets called out. Losing 1. Third base on the way here for Rotterdam. They sent out Roddy for the final series, or was it predetermined? You sort out your lineups ahead of time, so it was predetermined. Predetermined that Rotterdam was going to play in this game. Technically, they could have fielded Reynor here, and they could have saved Roddy for the next game. But it was going to be one way or the other, right? And they did decide to field Reynor in the next game instead. As here comes the Stim timing. We have Stim, combat shields, +1 is still a bit of a ways away, but it's still going to be a very strong push here from Cure. What do we have to defend? Okay, we have 6 Phoenixes, we have 8 Zealots. Charge, thankfully, is done. We can see Rotterdam getting ready for harassment across the map. A third CC on location here for Cure. Cure is pushing in. He gets eyes on the third base. Doesn't want to waste his mines. Yeah, mine's just going for the Zealots. Yeah, brutal connections. Zealots, they take a lot of hits, and here he's snowballed out of control. He breaks roll the Zealots, takes down the Phoenixes, and there is nothing left here. Yeah, there's nothing left. A brutal star. GG gets called, and Cure, he will take the game. He will claim the series, and Team Liquid, they will win the tournament here. They will claim the series over Basilisk. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Team Liquid as they do claim the series. They will be our champions. Coming into this Basilisk, they were the favored team, 100%. They were the favorite team coming into this. They came in from the upper bracket as well. There was a lot of hype behind them. They're even the reigning WTL champions, right? Like they are the reigning best team in StarCraft. But here, Team Liquid, they're able to rise from the ashes, rise up from the lower brackets, and claim the win in the end. GG, well played. Whew, again, going through the lineups here, you can see how this all begin. How did the best of 13 begin? We had Serral. Serral took down Cure early on the Old Republic. Clem took down Rotterdam on Mothership, as Roddy was fielded early on against Clem. Then we did have the 2v2s. Now, this was a big kind of sticking point in this series, in this league. I will say that Serral and Trigger were very good teammates. They were very good teammates. They did pair together quite well, and I think I might even favor Serral and Trigger over Clem and Mana, but Reynor, he had to substitute in because, remember, Trigger was unavailable. Trigger, he was unavailable to compete in this final, so this wasn't Basilisk at their best. That's the unfortunate reality. Roddy, he's not a competitor here. He's mainly a content creator, a caster, but you know, he still, shout out to Roddy, by the way, to step in when the team needed him most, right? Like, he still kind of took that role and still decided to compete, of course, and step in and fill in for Trigger. For those that maybe are tuning in a little bit late, the reason why Trigger didn't compete is because what was happening over the weekend, SC for All. That was a big offline event in America, and Trigger did travel for that event. So Trigger, he was traveling, to America to compete in SC for All in Philadelphia, and I mean, it was worth it. Trigger won, like he won the tournament, but that also meant that he was unavailable for this team league match, so that was a little bit unfortunate. That's why Rotterdam had to step in. That's also why Reynor played in the 2v2s, and again, Reynor and Serral, they're less experienced together as a 2v2 duo, less so than Serral and Trigger, so they were a little bit weaker, and this is where Team Liquid were able to get a lot of wins here. So Clem and Mana took down Reynor and Serral in the initial best of one, in the 2v2, and in the second series as well, in the second best of one that they had alongside that. We saw that Reynor was able to fight back, took a map off of Mana. Mana took down Rotterdam on Ruby Rock. We had Clem taking down Reynor as well, and then of course we neared to the end of the series. Serral, he had a crazy match, was able to take down Cure after a failed all-in. If you remember, Cure went for a proxy 3-backs and Serral shut it down. We saw that Serral and Reynor, he switched to Zerg. They brought it back in the 2v2. They finally put a point on the board, but overall Clem and Mana did have the better scoring over them, and then we had Clem and Cure close it out towards the end. We were going to have Reynor versus Mana on Dream and Scars, but the series is over, right? The series is over. They don't really get to play. They don't get to face off in that final game, as the series did conclude. And we had the potential ace match on Old Republic, which we also don't get to. So congratulations here to Team Liquid, as they do claim the series and they do claim the tournament. Congratulations. As again, this was an intense tournament, going all the way against, this is an intense tournament, a week-long event as well. If you missed out on it, I do recommend the VODs, right? There were so many good matches here in the semifinals and the quarterfinals. It wasn't just Team Liquid and Basilisk. We had Team Vitality, we had Shopify, they were popping off. Harambo, the Lambo and Harsum duo, they did really well in the 2v2s. Bunny and Rogue as the Team Falcons duo also did well in the 2v2s alongside them. So like Team Falcons, they were also performing well. We had Streamer Zone, we had Team Vitality, we had a lot of really fun matches between all these teams. I do recommend the VODs, especially if you're interested in this format, right? In this Pro League format with with 2v2s as well. Was really cool, was really fun. GG. Already played in the series because Trigger was traveling to SC for All, I think. Yes. That is true. Was traveling. But otherwise, thanks for watching. GG, well played. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. And again, congratulations to Team Liquid. And I hope that we're able to see more of these Team League tournaments in the future. Remember, this was currently a one-off. This was a one-off event sponsored by Chijik. So a big shout out to Chijik. Chijik, they are a streaming platform over in Korea. They are a competitor to Afrika TV, to Soup, right? To Soup. They are a competitor, and this is not the first time they've sponsored a StarCraft 2 tournament. If you remember, they sponsored a couple of months of a Lima League. True, they sponsored a couple of months of a Lima League, and they also did sponsor the SC Evo tournament, the Murloc King tournament. And I believe they also have been behind some show matches as well, some other fun like streamer events. Because again, they have their own ecosystem, they have their own streamers. I think they did have a fun, I think it was SC Evo, right? It was a fun SC Evo show match tournament where they had Crank and Kiwian top. They had the two of them teach VTubers how to play StarCraft Evolution. And they had like a team show match between them, like Team Crank versus Team Top. So they had like a fun like SC Evo show match with all the VTubers, with all the other like Korean streamers. So they've been doing a lot together. They've been doing a lot, Chijik, I should say, they've been doing a lot and supporting their streamers a lot and running a lot of these tournaments, not just for StarCraft 2, but for other, esports and other events as well. And it's really cool. It looks like they have a really nice relationship with Crank, and it looks like they're willing to invest and willing to host more of these tournaments as well. And what's important is that they've been different, right? We had the Elima League series, which was like open cups leading into like season finals. Here we had a Team League tournament. They've already done the SC Evo stuff, and I'm sure they're willing to explore and do other events, right? Like maybe some more 2v2 content, some more Team League content, some invitationals. We'll see. It's hard to say what they stick with. It feels like they're kind of trying a little bit of everything, seeing what they like most, seeing what gets the most interest, the most viewership, because at the end of the day, that's all they care about, right? Viewership and interest on their platform. especially from the Korean side. And from my understanding, they've been doing well. From my understanding, Crank has been getting a lot of viewership and been getting a lot of attention and a lot of momentum on his streams whenever he does these events. It also helps because Chijik, they put him on the front page. Like whenever there's an event like this, Cranky gets like full front page display, and they get a lot of attention and they get a lot of viewership that way as well. And yeah, it's really cool. Like in general, like Korean StarCraft, it seems to be growing. It seems like Korean viewership is growing quite a lot. I remember even for EWC, they had like a big viewership as well for that. So it's really cool to see interest garnered once again. And I'm sure part of that also, it also helps that like, right, like other streamers are playing StarCraft, like the VTubers and all of them as well, like looking to maybe step their toes into it. Yeah, best of luck in their endeavors, best of luck in their projects, of course, and hopefully we get more events like this in the future. Remember, SC Boy are coming back with their tournaments, with a recent announcement of the return of the Chinese server. It means that Kung Fu Cup is coming back. They're having a show match in China at the end of November with Scarlet. I know Scarlet's going. Oliveira's going to be playing again, so big hype for Oliveira to have Oliveira's return. Bearing in mind, Oliveira, this isn't him returning to compete. It's like a show match, right? It's like a retiree like show match sort of thing. So this isn't like Oliveira returning to like competitive play like on a permanent basis. From my understanding, it's just going to be a show match sort of thing. So don't, just calm down, don't get too excited. But regardless, really cool to see him coming back. And there's rumors that maybe with SC Boy returning, with a Chinese server returning, with NetEase sponsoring and funding all these other events, and with NetEase investing into the StarCraft 2 client, that we might get the return of WTL. But it's only rumors. Like there's no confirmation. What we do know is the return of Kung Fu Cup. We know that Kung Fu Cup is coming back. We know that show matches are coming back, and we know that SC Boy are getting a lot of support. But whether that leads into World Team League, we yet to find out. You know, we still gotta wait to find out for that one. But personally, I hope so. Like, I loved covering World Team League. I mean, we were a part of World Team League as well. We had our own team. We got our own pins and our own badges and our own supports. Like, that was a lot of fun a couple of years ago. So, yeah. Hopefully, World Team League can return in some way. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. Again, congratulations to Team Liquid. A shout out to Basilisk for competing for facing off as well. They were able to hold their own and make a series out of it. Personally, I was hoping for an ace match. We almost got there. And otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Quickly, when it comes to our schedule, bam, you can see our schedule before you. We just wrapped up with the Wednesday evening cast, and tomorrow morning we're going to be live with the OSC Rising Star Tournament. This is a tournament for up-and-coming players from all around the world, so look forward to that event. When it comes to what kind of players we're going to be featuring, let me just quickly double check here. Oh, wait, was there an interview? Oh. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. Hold on. Babby, do we have a winner's interview in English? One moment. Oh, let's go. Okay. Hold on.
경기 재밌게 잘하셨고 명경기도 만들어 주셨고 늦은 시간까지 저랑 오늘 얘기했는데 또 생각보다 형 대회 너무 지금 힘들다고. 우리 또 내일 또 있잖아요. 김도욱 선수 내일 한번 그 본인 뭐 어필해 주시죠. 팬분들이 좀 많이 찾아와 달라 한번 말해 주시죠.
정말 거의 처음인 것 같은데.
Hold on. Okay. We do have a winner's interview, actually, that it was conducted in English. Kyor did have an interview in Korean, so that's kind of what you could hear in the background. But it looks like we do have some words from the rest of the team as well, from Mana and from Clem. Okay.
고생했어요. 자, 마나 선수.
Oh.
마나 선수.
They're getting Mana. Mana, pick up the phone, Mana. Pick up the phone.
자, 마나 선수하고 그 다음에 클렘 선수 하도록 하겠습니다, 여러분들.
Okay, Clem
마나 선수.
오.
Hi. Hold on. I wanna show your cam.
Very good.
Okay, very good.
For context, this is Crank. Crank, he's the organizer of the event.
Very good.
The Korean caster.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You played well versus Serral. It was a really great game in 1v1, and also you and Clem somehow improve a lot in 2v2. That's how you guys won the whole team league. How did you guys talk about 2v2 and improve it?
So we started our 2v2 with no experience whatsoever. I am not a 2v2 player. Clem played some 2v2s, but he's not a 2v2 player as well. So we started it very badly, but the more we played, the more we figured out what we can do. Like the longer the game goes, the worse it is for us. So we're like, let's just attack and see what happens. And it just worked well once we were attacking. So we stuck with the plan of just attacking.
Okay. 일단 마나 선수가 이제 2대1을 거의 안 했고
Cranky is translating. I would disagree with Mata saying that Clem doesn't play much 2v2. Clem plays a decent amount of 2v2. To where I was saying that he's like one of the best 2v2 players in the world. If you're watching the 2v2 circuit from Uthermal, like Clem, he performed very well in that series. But fun to hear from him.
The team captain, when you see the lineup of today, there was no trigger. So do you think if a trigger was there, actually the Serral trigger or the win rate was the 100%, and trigger is a really good PvP player, and actually you lost, do you think it would be much harder to win the tournament, or were you just already confident no matter what?
I think that 2v2 would not be as easy. I think Reynor Protoss is very strong as well. But in 2v2, you need like a different skill set.
Yep.
So I think if Trigger would have played the 2v2,
100%.
the clan war would have been much different. Maybe you would have still won, maybe. But I think considering that Trigger couldn't play today, it was a bit fortunate for us. But in the previous clan war and today as well, I was feeling like very sick. So I didn't have the best condition myself, and so maybe that was lucky for them in the previous clan war. So yeah, I think we got a bit fortunate because of Trigger here, but I think we still would have made it very competitive even if he was here.
일단 뭐 트리거 선수가 있었으면은 좀
I would agree with that. Obviously, again, Trigger, he's you know definitely a higher caliber player than Rotterdam, and I do think that it would have impacted the 2v2s especially, and not just his 1v1 matches as well. So you know, it's really cool to hear Mana be like give respect to Trigger. Of course, he wants to hype himself and his team up at the same time, but still giving a lot of respect to Trigger, and that of course the series could have been a lot more different. And I would have favored Serral and Trigger over Mana and Clem.
봤을 때 여전히 본인들이 트리거가 있었어도 충분히 승리할 수도 있었던 그런 전력이었다 이렇게 얘기를 해줬습니다. Okay, so thank you for joining the my tournament. And do you have any last word for the Korean audience or others? You know.
It's very late for you guys, so I will not keep you too long. Thank you so much for hosting this. I had a lot of fun because it's not an all-kill format like we played before. I enjoyed this format much more. The 2v2. The map maybe could have been a bit better, but I'm not the biggest fan of 2v2, but the entire tournament was very fun, very well organized, so thank you so much for that, and hopefully we'll see you in the next season if it happens.
이게 늦은 시간까지 한국 분들 봐주셔서 너무 감사드리고
Give us another season.
너무 재미있는 토너먼트였는데 팀플 같은 경우는 맵이 조금 아쉽긴 했지만 그래도 너무 재밌게 잘 즐겼고 이렇게 대회 만들어서 고맙고 다음 시즌도 있으면은 꼭 좋을 것 같다 이렇게 말해주셨습니다. Thank you, Mana.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. 오케이, 시간이 늦었기 때문에 후딱후딱 클렘 어딨어? 클렘 찾아봐. 클렘.
They're getting Clem. Clem
요요.
좋아.
요요, 레디? 레디 하고 레디 답변 안 들어오고 바로 말 걸기. 자, 물 없냐 나? 목마르다. 마나야, 클렘 없어졌어. 클렘 대답 안 한다. 클렘 똥 싸러 갔나? 클렘 왔나? 왔다. 오케이. 하이.
Hello. 안녕하세요.
안녕. 안녕하세요. 잠깐만.
안녕하세요, papi. Let's go.
You know that Korean fans loves you, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Korean fans.
Okay.
Much love to the Korean fans.
Okay. So first of all, congratulations for winning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, the first question was that you were very furious like 2 days ago when you lost the really, like, I would say very straightforwardly. Your Reaper micro was very sloppy compared to you are Clem. You are not Crank or Reynor, you know? What happened?
Your Crank
I
is
don't know,
Reynor is being thrown under the
sometimes
bus.
it happens. Some days, you know, I don't feel 100%, and that was one of the days where I didn't feel like perfect, you know, and my micro was a bit sloppy, and I was not happy about how I was playing the game, so that made me a little bit tilted, and also the way I lost against Reynor, like it made me a little bit frustrated.
일단 뭐 이틀 전에 팀플 사신 컨트롤 김동원 크랭크보다 못했다고.
Crank's like, yo, what happened, man? You were playing like Ryung. You were playing like what? Yo, Ryung catching strays, baby. Oh my god.
So today you played versus Reynor again, and also is Serral, and you made incredible winning, and especially versus Serral, you were always like, you know, I don't think anybody can play like you to pressure Serral in the beginning of the game.
Yep.
But in the middle of the game, you were not like, you know, in like your shape was much better in the early game, but in mid game, Serral was coming back, and then you were like, you know, because of you have a lot of resources, orbital command, and then you made it. Were you thinking, you know, like maybe I could lose or something like that?
Yeah, so against Serral, I think the early game went pretty well. I delayed his forward base for a little bit. And then the Banshees and Helens did quite a bit of damage, I think, so that was pretty good. And then my push was also good against the Hydras, because he had no bannings and the tanks were really powerful there. And I thought I could maybe kill him with my first push when I had Marines and tanks, but he barely held. And from that point, I knew I was ahead, but it's really hard to close out the game and finish the game when you have tanks. Like I went 2 factory tank with Tech Lab, so usually I play mines and it's much more like easy to, you know, pressure always and stuff like that. But because I played massive tank that game on my factories, it was really hard to finish the game, and then it kind of gave him some room to you know, remake stuff, remake drones, bases, and he's very good in those kind of games, so he made it hard.
So were you thinking that, you know, you could lose, or you knew exactly that you were so ahead you cannot lose?
I knew I was ahead. As long as I knew, like, as long as I didn't make any big mistake, I knew I had it. But it's always very hard because one fungal on the ghost or something like that can always turn the game around. So I knew, like, as long as it doesn't go wrong, it's good.
근데 세랄이랑 할 때 초반에 너무 잘하다가 중반에 세랄한테 좀 짜증.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying it as well that Clem, he almost killed Serral when he pushed him with his tank push against the mass Hydra army. Like that was so close, so clutch. Still was ahead after that. We did have the back and forth there. It's really nice that Clem explained as well that because he was playing very tank heavy, he couldn't really apply too much more pressure to like assert himself. So it gave Serral some breathing room. I appreciate that.
그래서
That he, like,
이제 워낙
explained that.
유리했기 때문에 그래도 큰 실수만 안 하면은 이길 수도 있겠다 이런 생각을 했다고 합니다. So yeah, I also asked Mana about, you know, the team plays. You guys were very sloppy in the beginning, but you guys were like, the more you guys play, the better you guys are. And I asked Mana if there was like trigger, like Serral triggers win rate was 100%. I asked Mana if even if the trigger was there, you guys were confident, something like that. What do you think about that?
Well, so before this tournament, I don't think I've ever played 2v2 with Mana before. Or at least I don't remember. So we didn't really have much practice. But the more we played, the more we kind of understood how to play like with each other, and also what works, what doesn't work. And yeah, Mana said it well. Like the early game aggressive stuff was working very well, so we just continued doing it. But when it comes to facing Trigger and Serral or Serral and Reynor, I think Trigger and Serral definitely felt harder, but I think maybe most, like, some of it was because me and Mana had more time to, you know, prepare together and play 2v2 well. But also I think Trigger's a bit more used to playing 2v2s than Reynor's pros is, so it definitely, I think, made it a little bit easier for us, but it's still hard.
일단 뭐 자기도 그 마다랑 똑같이 계속 더 게임을 하고 공격적으로 판단을 하고 더 하자마자 계속 이제 더 좋아졌다고 하고 트리거 왔어도
That is not much to
조금
add
이제
there.
마나랑 계속 연습을 같이 하고 이제
Yeah.
소통을 했기 때문에 좀 어느 정도 좋은 경기를 보여줄 수 있었을 것 같기도 하다. 이런 얘기를 했고요. So for last question, we already knew that your Terrans are the best Terran, you know, but we knew your Protoss were good, but during this tournament, and the way how you beat Bunny, it was really painful for us to watch. I mean, especially we know that Protoss, the actual balance was changed, you know, Protoss nerf and then Terran buff, but you still made it like a Terran is so easy to play. So what do you think? You know, I don't think any Terran can beat your Protoss.
Oh no, I think so definitely Terrans can beat my pros, but I feel very confident in pros against Terran. And you know, when I think about it, overall going pros against Terran was a good move because in these kind of matches, like before, if I was gonna face against Bunny, I would be like very scared, you know, of TVT, and Bunny is very good. But I feel much more comfortable with my pros, and pros was definitely better before the patch than this patch, but I think if I get a good early game, pros is still very good because you can expand very fast and just get like a really good economy, and if you can just be on the offensive and just expand a lot behind it and you don't die to like some 2-base push or something, then I just feel really confident. So then in that way, I like playing PvT.
뭐 이재선 선수 같은 선수가 굉장히 그 테테전에서 굉장히 잘해서
Clem is so humble. Like, or Cranky was like, I don't think a Terran can beat you. He's like, no, there's something can beat me. We talk about this all the time. Clem has beaten every Terran player in the world except for one, and that's Maru, because they've just never played, right? Like Maru, he's the only player that Clem hasn't been with his Protoss because they've just never faced against each other.
괜찮게
The only
테란전
reason.
여전히 할 수 있는 것 같다라고 했습니다. Yeah, any last word for your fans? You know, the Korean audience really loves you. You know. Just
Well, first, thank you for hosting the tournament. That was really fun to play, and I always like playing team leagues. They're always very fun. So thanks for hosting the tournament. It was super cool. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Even if it's a bit late over in Korea, I appreciate everyone. And yeah, thank you so much. 감사합니다.
일단 뭐 대회 만들어서 너무 고맙고
감사합니다.
팀리그 너무 재밌다고 하고 항상 팀리그 제일 좋아한다고 하고 이제 한국 시간이 너무 늦었는데도 계속 끝까지 보고 응원해 주셔서 너무 감사드린다고 합니다. Thank you, Clem.
Thank you.
See you later.
See you. Bye bye.
Okay.
감사합니다. With that,
동원이한테 다시 갑시다.
with that does conclude our winners interview here with Amana and Clem. Really nice to hear from them. Again, it was really cool to hear some a little bit more of like the technical play from the side of Clem, some more generalistic overviews as well. I mean, they both spoke about how like if Trigger was there, maybe it would have been a different series. The 2v2s definitely would have been more difficult. So it is a little bit unfortunate that BASILISK, they weren't able to kind of showcase their best. They weren't able to showcase like their strongest lineup. So that is a little bit unfortunate. But overall, regardless, GG, well played. Once again, Clem being very respectful and being very humble. You could even hear it like when he was talking about Reynor. He was like, "Oh, I think like Trigger is 2v2 is like a little bit better than Reynor's." It's like it's a lot better than Reynor. What are you talking about, man? What are you on about? So he's trying to be nice and he's trying to soften the blow. Like doesn't want to like step on anyone's toes. Este Clem, papi. Este Clem. But regardless, GG well played. Congratulations, very well done, very well played. And with that, we are such a nice guy, decent player. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at the game. He's pretty good. Arguably the best PvT in the world with Este Clem. But with that, we are getting into, or with that, we are wrapping up here for this evening. As we mentioned before, our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow morning with the OSC Rising Star Tournament. I was just about to check exactly which matches we're going to be casting. So for that tournament, it is for up-and-coming players. We're going to be featuring players like Foxer, Young Yakov, Middle VK, Baby Marine, Shameless, Pappy, Forjumi, Percival, Sebestes, Art, Demi. Those are the caliber of players. Those are the players you expect to see. Like these more up-and-coming, some more younger, like up-and-coming players that are rising through the ranks that aren't like the best of the best, like Serral or Reynor or Clem or Cure, but those that are, you know, up and coming, those the tier below, I should say, that are looking to work their way up, but they're still really good players, right? Like Percival, who's been looking really strong as of late, Shameless, Young Yakov, Baby Marine, right? Like they all have their own strengths, they all have their own play that they've been improving, of course. And we'll be featuring them in tomorrow's broadcast in the OSC Rising Star Tournament. to find out the next rising star. Meanwhile, we have the podcast tomorrow evening. We have What Is TV Monday on Friday. That's going to be a replay cast. We have KSL on Saturday. That's going to be a live cast. We have SDO, Sea Duckling Open, Pigstar Cup, and Tuna Cup as well. So plenty of content. Again, as you can see, our schedule's very busy. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast, more than all the others. All the content. We have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality as well. So thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow with some more StarCraft. Otherwise, if you want to support us, you can do so via following us on the socials. Check us out on YouTube. We have Twitter, Facebook, all the StarCraft. You can check us out if you wish. We upload on YouTube on a daily basis, and likewise, you can also support us via Patreon. Our Patreon specifically is designed to fund our tournaments, so you can see just under the schedule on my right, you can see our current Patreon. We earn 568 USD via Patreon a month, and that all goes towards our tournaments. Our next goal is at 670 to boost the prize pool of our tournaments even further, to grow our tournaments, and ideally to end up with a monthly finals. We are hosting monthly finals for the remainder of the year, but only for this year. Coming into 2026, it will be back to just regular weeklies, but hopefully we can grow our event even further. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for either the OSC Elite Rising Star, that's going to be in around 10 hours time, or with the podcast, which will be in just under 24 hours. See you then. See you next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego. Congratulations once again to Team Liquid. GG.